Here, one of your course commentators, along with Clint Williams. Crossing regularly also to John Contract out in the middle, who'll be doing rider interviews. On behalf of the President and Committee of the Mildura Motorcycle Club, can I welcome you all here tonight. Let's hope we have an incident-free night. We have been known from time to time to lose power, but I think all those gremlins are not with us tonight. So I look forward to welcoming you. As usual, promptness is one of our great virtues. Race 1 is at the starting gate area now. We're under starter's orders. You can see the lights flashing on the tower. The first of the C-grade heats. Race 1, 6 laps of C-grade activity. With the first 10 place getters going on to a final series and the remainder going through a repecharge to the final. It's Fiedler going into the first turn, comes out in front is Fiedler. Whitehead is the rider in second place. Back to Matthews in third. Doran in fourth spot, moving through on the outside now. Can't quite get around Matthews though. Doran goes wide. Still the rider Fiedler in place. The green flag indicates the race is on for sure. Graham Fiedler out in front. Fiedler, a South Australian rider, Honda powered. There's one down there. Third place getter Doran, I believe, is down. 76 is Whitehead in second spot. Behind him is Ritson and Doran back on his bike there now. Whitehead's gone wide. Fiedler's been passed there now by rider 28 is Ritson through that double jump coming out of the Coca-Cola bridge. We get three, yes, there we go. There's the first of three tonight for Mark Ritson. Behind him is Whitehead. Coming through on the inside, Fiedler. And Doran it is that's gone wide and pulled out just prior to the stutter jumps. Across the canyon there goes Ritson. He has Whitehead on his tail, but Ritson's making ground down the back straightaway as he comes around now to the Coca-Cola bridge. Ritson it is there first. There's Whitehead. Coming over now, Fiedler. 45 is Gerard Duffy. He's being followed too by Sherwell. Behind Sherwell is Middleton. Right now back to Matthews, who was an early casualty over on the double jumps. Let's have a look now, the triple slammers. Can Ritson do it again? Yes, he's up and over. Whitehead not so sure about that. He may have a look next time. Looking back there, 1, 2 and 3 in a row takes Sherwell. You can see how much slower that makes the rider when they do the triple slammers in 3. Coming up to the Coca-Cola bridge there again now. Ritson it is in first. Whitehead following him now. Fiedler still behind him, and I think it'll be Duffy next. No, that's Middleton. Back to Matthews. Edmonds, Sherwell, Duffy, Emery, and right back now, just coming over the canyon, is Peter White. Let's have a look now back to the triple slammers. Can Ritson do it again? There he goes. Whitehead still not confident about taking those in 3. Ritson's only on a 125 machine, as the green and white number indicates. The 250 numbers are indicated by the black background with the white number. No. Coming now onto the kangaroo jump, just going underneath the Coca-Cola bridge. Mark Ritson. Whitehead following closely, and a long way back now to the rider Fiedler as he takes a look at the doubles, does them one at a time. He's got Sean Middleton right on his hammer. As we go back now to the triple slammers, this is a spot where Ritson certainly getting a little bit away from the second place getter Whitehead, and coming around now is the race leader Ritson to look at the blue flag. That's one lap to go. Whitehead gets one as well. And we'll call them back right through in order as they greet the blue flag. Fiedler it is that goes across there. Middleton, I think, is right behind him. Matthews, Edmonds, Sherwell, Treewin, back to Duffy, back to Emery. Number 35, I think, out there too somewhere should be Peter White. Now just coming down the main back straight onto the triple slammers. He's nearly been lapped in this contest. The two in front have certainly cleaned out. We should keep an eye on them. Remember the numbers, 28 and 76, because this program keeps on compounding right towards the final excitement of the big finals at the end of the night. Coming around now, ladies and gentlemen, to greet the judge, Mark Ritson, the Victorian rider. Very, very good ride indeed. Second place getter is Whitehead as he signals the second place. Moving up now through into third place is Sean Middleton. Behind him, Graham Fiedler. Just coming across the stutters there now is the Victorian rider Cam Edwards, and he's being followed closely by Rod Matthews. Further two behind Matthews, Sherwell, and another Victorian Treewin. There's Duffy, one of the early race leaders, and right down now to Jeff Emery. And out circulating still, just coming to the triple slammers now, we should see Peter White. Place getters in that event. Number 28, Mark Ritson, in first place. Number 76, Tony Whitehead, it was, in second place. And Sean Middleton made up third. As we said there, the program is the first 10 riders move on to event 6, and the rest of them go to a repechage in event 8. Hand over now to Clint Williams for race 2, the second of the C-grade heats.
Thank you, Brendan. Into the last 60 seconds before the start. In this event, we've got an extra rider, not on our program, number 34, Mark Windsor. 34, Mark Windsor is an additional starter, not on your program. Waiting for the lights to start their sequence, countdown from the top. The lights now coming down. They'll then go out from the top. The green light will come on and they'll start shortly after. Green light's on, the gate drops and they're away. It looks like number 17 in front, Robin Bobos from Mildura, but he swamped into the first corner. I think it was 54. No, 24. Bradley Purcell. There he is, a triple slammer first lap. That's not bad riding there from Purcell. Comes around over the stutters. Robin Bobos from Mildura in second place, and Katrina Bartlett, the only girl riding, in third place. Bartlett just passed by number 30 going up the back straight. It was Sean Hamilton. As our leaders now, Bradley Purcell and Robin Bobos come around over some stutter jumps up towards the kangaroo jump. Under the bridge. Lining up the big doubles. Purcell lands on top. Still going okay. Taking them two at a time. Bobos lost a lot of ground as Robert Lambert gained a lot on him by taking the doubles two at a time. And it's Purcell coming up, and there's another triple slammer from Purcell. Bobos the same. And also for Lambert, 3 jumps at once. Lambert's making his way through the field. He started off fairly well back down the field. He's making his way up through pretty quickly now. That's number 36, a rider to keep your eye on. He's up into 3rd place at this stage. But it's Bradley Purcell out in front from Robin Bobos, and that was Lambert. Robert Lambert, after all that good words we gave him, dropped it on the approach to the bridge, but he's up and running once again. Sean Hamilton, number 30, in 4th place, and Katrina Bartlett, number 47, in 5th place. But she's about to be passed by Anthony Haydenfeld on number 7 by the look of it, coming up to go under the bridge. And there he is, Bradley Purcell over the triples once more, followed by Robin Bobos. Robert Lambert and Sean Hamilton takes them 2 and 1. So another lap down for Bradley Purcell. Robin Bobos seems to be holding that distance now between himself and Tony Lambert. Robert Lambert, sorry. So Bradley Purcell over that awesome double jump. So Bradley Purcell now comes around, lines up the triples over the top of the stalled rider. Robin Bobos does the same thing, leaps over the top of him. Robert Lambert does the same thing. So the first 3 riders now cleared out from the rest of the field. Bradley Purcell heading up Marlborough Straight, round to the Coca-Cola Bridge. Bradley Purcell, number 24, doing it fairly easily now out in front from Robin Bobos. Robert Lambert, though, is gaining on Bobos with a couple of laps ready to go. Number 47, that was, fell on the triples, was Katrina Bartlett. She's up and running once again, though. So here's Bradley Purcell coming around for the triples. Lines them up. A triple slammer. Just makes it over the 3rd jump. But he comes round to the stutter jump. Over the stutters comes Bradley Purcell. Receives the blue last lap flag from finisher flagman Brian Adams. 2nd is Robin Bobos, and then Robert Lambert in 3rd place on number 36, being held up pretty severely there by number 11, Scott Young, and that enabled Robin Bobos to open a fair lead now on Lambert in 3rd place. But it's Bradley Purcell over the awesome double, lines up then the next set of doubles around to the tabletop jump for the last time. As Bradley Purcell lines up the triples. Another triple slammer, one-handed triple slammer there from Bradley Purcell as he comes around to the finish, or to the stutters before the finish line. So number 24 it is, the winner coming up to the finish line now. So Bradley Purcell, number 24, a good ride from him in 1st place. 2nd is Robin Bobos going across the line now. third is Robert Lambert, number 36. And then it's a fair way back now to number 30, Sean Hamilton, coming over the triple jumps now. So Sean Hamilton across the line now, in fourth place. Number 3 will be our next finisher, Raymond Fiumani. Goes around the outside of the boom, lines up the canyon jump. So the winner of that event was Bradley Purcell on number 24. Second was Robin Bobos, number 17. And third was Robert Lambert, number 36. That was Katrina Bartlett, number 47, the only girl rider here tonight.
Now for the third of the C-grade heats. We'll wait now for the indication of the final 10 seconds. There'll then be a second-by-second countdown to the green light. And then the riders are in the official starter's orders, and it is he who lets the gate go. Any rider who has his wheel up against the gate cannot move because the gate won't go down. The riders must be a little way back from the gate to allow the gate to drop clearly, then they can go over the top. 5 minutes and 26 seconds was the time for the last race. A much quicker race than before. There they go, there's one guy being caught. Number 4 it was that's been caught, Beard from Victoria. It looks like Kingston it is that might come out in front. Yes, it certainly is. Kingston being followed by Jamie Bennett from all the way down from New South Wales. Peter Harding in third spot there. Local rider being followed by David Reinscheich. Coming around now to get the green flag to indicate that the race is really underway. Clearing out very early is Stuart Kingston, the Victorian rider. Bennett's it is under pressure too there now from Peter Harding. Peter Harding working very hard down the back straightaway, and he's being followed by Colin Lamb. But coming over the Coca-Cola Bridge for the first time is Stuart Kingston. Peter Harding still being able to maintain third place. No, he's moved through into second now as the local rider Harding. He's out now to chase Stuart Kingston. Going over those awesome doubles there. They take them one at a time. Let's wait for the A-graders. They do it 2 at a time and then land in perfect control. Bunching up there now too behind Peter Harding. Let's have a look at the triple slammers. No, we're not quite ready to take that yet, says Kingston. Neither's Harding. Number 26 there is Reinscheich, and moving through into fourth place is Andrew Beard. He's being followed by Jamie Bennett, who was the early second place getter. Colin Lamb moving back and taking a sideways exit is Simon Young. As we go down the back straightaway now, approaching the Coca-Cola Bridge is Stuart Kingston. Peter Harding from Mildura still following in second spot on the Suzuki there. He's being chased by Honda Power. Number 26 is David Reinscheich. And moving through is Kawasaki there, number 4, Andrew Beard. Very important for these C-graders to make sure they finish to get through to the next round. There's no point in hurting themselves because the most important races are to follow. Let's have a look now back to Kingston. No, he's going to take them 2 at a time over those big triple slammers. Peter Harding will do the same. So too will Reinscheich, as does Beard. Following Beard there now is Colin Lamb. Behind him Ian Marlin. Right now back to Jamie Bennett. And there's a first of the triple slammers in this heat to Simon Young. Harding's down in the stutter jump, so he moves away from third place. He's back to about 10th place there now as he's still trying to start his machine. Was bad luck there for Harding because he was riding very nicely, holding a good second place. But it certainly allowed Kingston to move out now, and he has probably 10 or 12 seconds in front of second place, which is Rheinscheich. Rheinscheich being pursued very closely by Beard, and coming around behind Beard there was Marlin. Back on, coming to the kangaroo jumps now is number 21, Simon Young. But coming right over the top on the back straightaway there is the race leader. Approaching the triple slammers now. Let's see if he can do it. No, he's still going to play safety first, is Stuart Kingston. He's got plenty of lead. He doesn't need to take risks. But they're moving through into second place too is Andrew Beard on the Kawasaki, but he's come to grief there now very rapidly. And it allows number 26, David Rheinscheich, to move through into a very clear second place. As you remember there, number 4 was Beard. He was the guy that was held back at the start, so he was doing a very good job to move through there into second place at the time that he came to grief on the triple slammers. Let's look back now to Kingston. Kingston's going underneath the Coca-Cola bridge as the second and third, fourth place getters come over the top of it, so he's capitalising on his early good work. Kingston now will come around to get the blue flag. There's 2 at a time again for the young rider, Simon Young. There's another 2 at a time, and look at the advantage that creates from 4th to 2nd spot in 2 lots of doubles. He's being pressurised too there by Jamie Bennett. No, it's not Bennett, I'm sorry, it's Rheinscheich. There we go, 3 at a time again. Oh, he landed pretty hard. Elwin manages to keep control with some difficulty. Simon Young it is, goes through to 2nd spot as the race leader, Kingston, takes the blue flag. Here comes Young to take the blue. Behind him too, Rheinscheich. He's being followed closely by Marlin. Behind him too now, coming over the stutter jumps, is Jamie Bennett. Behind him on the Suzuki Power is 37, Matthew Yench. Very clear win this one to Stuart Kingston, as he only has about half a lap now to go to consolidate his position into favouritism in the next round of heats. Peter Harding right back there and greets the blue flag, the last of these contestants. Simon Young taking those doubles on the other side of the track in 2 again. He's certainly picked up a lot of ground now on Kingston, although to Kingston's credit he may be taking it fairly easily. Here's Simon Young. Yes, he's still practicing that. That was a better jump than the one before. As Kingston comes around now to greet the checkered flag. Stuart Kingston, a very, very good win, acknowledges the win too. Behind him, Simon Young. He's certainly an exciting performer. Behind him too is Ian Marlin. He's being followed by David Rheinscheich. Coming around too behind them would be Jamie Bennett. He would then be followed by Matthew Yench. Back to Craig Russell. There's a big endo again from Harding. Harding down on the ground there. Hasn't moved at this stage. Moving around the last time for the event, and took the extra risk to try and gain ground that possibly wasn't even there. Very good win indeed to Stuart Kingston. He was followed by Simon Young, who completed an excellent second half of the race. After some disadvantage early, he was caught up in traffic, but enabled himself to move through the field very nicely to consolidate in second place. Finishing in 3rd place was the Victorian rider Ian Marlin. In 4th spot, David Rheinscheich, another Victorian rider. Jamie Bennett it was that came in 6th place. He was followed by Matthew Yench. Behind Yench then was Craig Russell, the Victorian rider, Kawasaki rider. Another Kawasaki rider followed in Andrew Baird. He too was followed by number 71, Colin Lamb. And of course, unfortunately, David Harding just a short way from completing the race. Actually, what I was going to do was to put them...
Hello, Rowan!
I sort of stuffed up. I reckon if we put the numbers right over on the end, we've got enough room to write the names then, so I sort of didn't, I'm only confused.
In this race, event 4, heat 4 of the C grade, we do have an extra rider in this event as well, number 66, who is Robert Quinn. Right, the light's starting its countdown sequence now. Green light's on, the gate will drop now, it does, and away they go. It's a Honda in front, number 22 by the look of it, Guy Martin. And he was passed on the outside by 33. Paul Bellman, there's Bellman, a triple slammer to start with, and number 14. Tried to bite the track. That was Alistair Maxwell there. A pretty good necker from Maxwell, and also number 66 went down. That's Robert Quinn, the rider not in the program. But Alistair Maxwell down and out at this stage. The St John's ambulance have got him off the track. But it's 33, Paul Bellman in front, opening up a reasonable lead now already over 22. Guy Martin in second place. He's being hotly pressed by 38. Tony Stewart in third place. Bellman lines up the doubles. Over them quite easily.
Ian Wolfen did awesome.
The rider moving up through the field is local rider Ian Buffin up into fourth place on number 73. That's Bellman. Bellman's in trouble. Down he goes. And also 22. Guy Martin hit the top of the jump as well, but he managed to save it. Bellman's up on his feet again. After that, he'll be talking with a squeaky voice later on, though, I would think. So Guy Martin, 22 now, inherits the lead. 38, Tony Stewart in second place. 73, Ian Buffin in third place. 44, David Mann in fourth place, and right on Buffin's tail as he comes over the Coca-Cola jump. So heading up and underneath Coca-Cola Bridge, it's Guy Martin to the awesome doubles and lands on top. Tony Stewart managed to get over them, but fairly awkwardly as well. There's Buffin taking the doubles one at a time, and that allowed David Mann to catch up quite considerably on Buffin there. As Guy Martin lines up the triples, and he's in trouble this time. No, he manages to keep it together. So these sea gliders, not quite enough speed. As Mann there comes inside Buffin. Buffin comes back at him, coming over the stutter jumps, but it's Mann on the outside, Buffin on the inside. Mann on a 250, Buffin on a 125. So David Mann it is now who's settled that fight for third place. He follows Guy Martin on 22 in first place. 38, Tony Stewart in second. There's Mann over the awesome doubles, does it well that time. And Tony Stewart also does it well. So Guy Martin over the tabletop. Lines up the triple slammers. Here he goes. That was a better jump from Martin. Buffin now doing them 2 and 1, but he's got quite a distance back to the rider in third place, who is number 33. That's Paul Bellman, the rider who was down fairly heavily off the triples early in the event. Guy Martin over the Coca-Cola Bridge. Tony Stewart seems to be gaining ground on Martin as they're halfway through their second last lap. Martin over the awesome doubles, lands on top. Oh, and Stewart lands front wheel first too. So it's Martin in front, Stewart in second place, Mann in third, Buffon in fourth, and Bellman a fair way back in fifth place. So as they come around to get the blue last lap flag, it's still Martin in front. Stewart in second place, Mann in third, and Buffon now just coming around to receive the blue flag. Martin up and over the top of the Coca-Cola bridge. Stewart gaining on Martin, gaining considerably on Martin at this stage, so it'll be a pretty close finish the way these two riders are going. Stewart's got Martin in his sights. Martin over the awesome double. Stewart does it well. Stewart will gain some ground here. Manages to get around the corner, and he's not very far behind Martin now. So we'll see how they go over the triple slammers. Martin over safely. Stewart over safely. Mann lands on the top of the third one, but he's still safe as Martin comes around over the stutter jumps. He's got that first place sewn up. Guy Martin crosses up as he goes across the canyon jump in first place. Tony Stewart, number 38, in second. David Mann, number 44, in third place. Ian Buffon, number 73, crosses the line in fourth. 33, Paul Bellman, the rider who tripped and fell on the triple slammers, up to fifth place. Number 5 then, David Stewart. 27, Mark Cummings. Grant Heapy crosses the line now. We're still waiting on two riders out on the track. Number 9, that's Robert Goldring. And also number 66, Robert Quinn. Quinn took a tumble in that first lap crash as well over the triples and has never recovered from that crash or recovered any ground. Through this very exciting junior race.
Okay. What was the other guy's name? Marlon Walker, wasn't it? He's done overseas. In the starter's hands now. Coming down out of the outside now is Troy Doran, but going on the inside of him is Lee Hogan. There we go, 3 in a row for the first 3. We've got a bit of trouble there from Adam Cottrell. That's broken a few down now. Back to Ben Perez as well. Moving around to greet the green flag for the first time is in front Lee Hogan. Behind him Stephen Maguire. Behind Maguire now is Troy Doran. And my goodness, aren't these kids quick? Coming up onto the Coca-Cola bridge now, we'll see on the Kawasaki is Lee Hogan. Behind him, Kawasaki rider again is Stephen Maguire. Yamaha rider is Troy Doran. And back to the Honda there now of Jason Trevina. There we go, 2 over the awesome doubles for both Hogan. Maguire and Doran, wasn't it? Coming down now off the tabletop, Stephen Maguire. He's being closely followed again by Doran. There's 3 in the row again for leader Hogan. Coming across the stutters. Takes the inside turn very, very quietly, but a bit of trouble there for Stephen Maguire at the end of the stutters, and he loses it back to 4th spot now. 5th place it is, back to Maguire. Just coming up to the Coca-Cola Bridge, Rodney Hamilton. He's being followed by Jason Trevina in the air now. Behind him is Stephen Maguire, the fallen rider. Maguire being pursued rapidly by Marlon Walker, the mini bike rider. Oh, and he takes the inside of the back wheel of Maguire and goes off the track himself. But coming up onto the tabletop is the race leader, Lee Hogan. Coming around now to the triple slammers. He's being pressed too by Troy Doran. There's triple slammer for Hogan. Triple slammer also for Doran. Also two there now for Rod Hamilton, as well as Jason Trevina and Stephen Maguire. Not to be undone is Marlon Walker, and he also has been followed by Matthew Mladden. Right now back to Ben Linkskog. David Day also coming along there, and taking them two at a time is Alan Orchard on the Yamaha. Moving back now to the front of the field, we see gaining a lot of ground is number 4, Troy Doran. He's catching ground there on Lee Hogan. Approaching now to the triple slammers is Lee Hogan. Troy Doran behind him. They've done it 3 on the trot again. They'll do this all day, these kids. Number 20, Rodney Hamilton. There we go with Stephen Maguire. As we look back now to Marlon Walker. He's doing it 3 at a time too, and he's being followed closely by Matthew Mladden. Ben Linkskog right back there has a look at them as well, as does Jason Trevina, but Trevina lands heavily there coming off the triple slammers. As we'll go back to race leader now on the broad studders, just approaching the Coca-Cola Bridge to go underneath there now and lap rider number 60, Ben Perez. Perez was the rider who fell at the end of the triples the first time around, and Hogan now takes him around the outside. Look at that for great power as he goes past there. Hogan now coming up to the triple jump. Triple slammer again for Hogan. Troy Doran, not to be undone, is only 5 metres behind him now, and moving up to his rider number 20 is Rodney Hamilton. They're being intersected by the lapped rider now, and it'll be Hamilton who will lap him next. Going down the back straightaway and approaching the Coca-Cola Bridge for the last time. Race leader Lee Hogan, behind him Troy Doran. Still to be lapped yet is Perez. There he's gone, he's back now. Moving up into 3rd place is Rod Hamilton. Back to 4th is Stephen Maguire. And coming down off the Coca-Cola Bridge in 5th and 6th place respectively is Marlon Walker and Matthew Mladden. Ben Linkskog now comes around to take the broad studders and moves up onto the kangaroo jumpers, going over the triple slammers for the last time and coming around to greet the checkered flag from the judge is top junior Lee Hogan. There goes Hogan, he's the winner. He's being followed closely by Troy Doran and also Rodney Hamilton. They cleared out on the field. That rider's been lapped. Number 60 is Ben Perez, and in 4th place, Stephen Maguire. Alan Orchard was a lapped rider there. Number 16 finishes in 6th place is Walker. He's being followed too by Matthew Mladden. These kids, some of these kids all the way down from Sydney. The young rider Mladden, number 10, all the way down from Sydney. And we're looking around now to the remaining 2 riders on the track. Number 36, David Day. Number 30, Jason Trevina. And that will be as they finish. It's probably easier to come up here, I think. We get in the habit of turning it off each time, shall we?
Yeah, I think I turned it off last.
Yeah, you did, yeah. I'll just put that there.
I haven't got them all.
Oh, you haven't got them all. I think I've got them all on here. Have I?
No, that's the one first one you did.
Oh, right.
And thing over down here was talking about possibly creating another something a bit interesting in it. When the other guys get out, $5. We'll both put in $5. The one whether you guys would. To the guy who the crowd judges is the biggest jumper over the bridge. Some of them get right down. You'd have to sell it to the crowd, you know. You'll have to ask him to watch. What do you think? We'll judge crowd reaction. Oh, okay.
Right, the C grade semi-final, the green light's on, the gate drops, and away they go. On to number 60 it is. It's 17 now in front, Robin Bobos from Mildura in first place, 36, Robert Lambert in second place, both well up in their previous heat. Then number 60, Graham Fiedler with Bobos. It is in front as they go past the start-finish line for the first time. Robin Bobos from Mildura heads off up the Marlborough Straight, around onto the Coca-Cola Bridge. He's closely followed by Robert Lambert, number 36, number 60, Graham Fiedler. Number 76, that rider was, just got past Fiedler. Then Tony Whitehead, who was up well in his heat. And there's Bobos, been passed now by Robert Lambert. So Lambert moves up into first place over the triple slammers. Bobos follows him. 76, Tony Whitehead finished second in his heat. He's up into third place. 60, Graham Fiedler still in fourth place, but he's being pressured now by Sean Middleton on Yamaha number 40. Robert Lambert still being followed closely by Robin Bobos. Bobos not losing much ground to Lambert as they come across the Coca-Cola jump, across the stutters, and then back up towards the kangaroo jump. Lambert over the awesome double, so is Bobos together. Lambert over the next double. Bobos follows him as well, so Bobos not losing any ground to Lambert over those jumps. Lambert comes around, lines up the triple slammer. Bobos over the triples once more. Tony Whitehead, 2 and 1 on his 125 machine. Graham Fiedler, number 60, in fourth place, and still number 40, Sean Middleton, in fifth place. Robert Lambert now opening up a gap between himself and Bobos. Oh, there's a big fall going up the Marlborough Straight by rider number 40. I didn't see what happened, but his bike's lying in the middle of the track. The flag marshal unaware that there's a bike in the middle of the track. The rider over there talking to the ground, Sean Middleton, under the Marlborough sign. Appears to have hurt himself. There's another rider down over the Coca-Cola Bridge, and he landed on the downhill side. I can't pick up the number from here. But Robert Lambert now, number 36, open up a commanding lead over Robin Bobos in second place. Tony Whitehead, number 76, in third. And here's number 24 moving up through the field. That's Bradley Purcell, won the first heat. Robert Lambert comes around, approaching the tabletop jump. Lambert over the tabletop, into the boom corner, lines up the triples. And there he is, another triple slammer. Bobos lines up the triples, over them safely as well. Tony Whitehead coming around now. He's dropped off the pace considerably. Whitehead, he'll have to watch himself because it's Bradley Purcell making up considerable ground on Whitehead there. Robert Lambert Robert Lambert comes around to the awesome doubles. Slower rider in front of him balks him, so he takes them one at a time. Takes the next set, two at a time. Around, out of the right-hand berm, into the left-hand berm. Lines up the tabletop, over the top for the last time. Robert Lambert lines up the triples. Here he goes, a triple slammer once again from Lambert. Bobos over them. Long way back from Lambert, but Lambert being held up by a slower rider there. Got balked, but Bobos still a long way behind. There he is, our winner, number 36, Robert Lambert in first place. Number 17, Robin Bobos. Let's go, both hands off the handlebars as he goes across the canyon jump for the last time. Bobos in second place. Number 76, Tony Whitehead. Also 2 hands off the handlebars as he goes across. In third place, number 24, a good ride there from Bradley Purcell to move up through the field as number 15 tipped himself over the handlebars on the triples. Number 15 was Cam Edmonds, but a good ride there by number 24, Bradley Purcell. He moved up through the field to take that fourth place, and he was challenging Tony Whitehead. He was gaining considerably on Whitehead the last couple of laps. So the numbers only of the placings, 36 in first place, 17 in second, 76 third, 24 fourth, 60 and 28. As soon as we get a time for that event, we'll pass it on to you. Time for that event was 5 minutes 23 seconds. 5 minutes 23.
Local content there, number 73, Ian Buffin. Thought it's a pretty even start there, but I think Stuart Kingston it was that shot out in front first, but I reckon that might be Simon Young that's gone around him, and I think he brought him down as well. We're still waiting to see if the green flag's still up. Yes, the green flag's still indicating a fair race as Dave Mann it is that moves into first place. He's got Kingston behind him. Rider number 38 was Tony Stewart, who did well in that second heat. And he's being followed by Simon Young. There's Beard down again in these stutters. He came down before on the triples, if you remember. But moving away now to a clear break is the number 44 rider, Dave Mann, I'm sorry. Following him, Stuart Kingston. Behind Kingston, Tony Stewart. He's being followed closely by number 33 is Paul Bellman, who did well in that previous heat as well. And close on Bellman's tail is number 22, which I haven't got. Moving over now to the double slammers. There was Buffin from Mildura, went over the awesome doubles in one go. But coming down off the tabletop is race leader Mann. Mann being followed by Kingston, and behind Kingston, Stewart. Stewart on the inside now of Stewart is number 33 is Paul Bellman. And a triple slammer there again to Simon Young. Simon Young bringing up a lot, catching up a lot of ground there now, as he's moved to within about 50 yards of race leader David Mann. Kingston it is, who did well early, back in second spot and going to consolidate. And at the moment he's holding up Tony Stewart. Stewart going to look at go around the outside now of this Coca-Cola jump. There'll be some money up later for the best jump off the Coca-Cola jump. Mann it is, back to Kingston. He's being followed by Bennett and Bellman. Number 22, Guy Martin. Ian Buffin moving up too close on the back end there. Slammers there to Man. He's being followed by Stewart, who does the same, but taking them two at a time is Paul Bellman. Simon Young coming around the outside now of Kingston. Might take him on the stutters as our race leader, David Mann, crosses the canyon jump. David Mann opening up a break down the back straightaway there on Tony Stewart. Coming down off Coca-Cola Bridge now is Tony Stewart. He's being followed closely by Paul Bellman. Stuart Kingston there down now too, and Simon Young and Guy Martin there being pursued by Ian Buffin. Buffin there moves through on the inside of Martin and is going to take on Simon Young. There's Simon Young two at a time, so too is Buffin over the awesome doubles. There's Young again. Buffin one at a time though on that second repeat there. It's coming now up to the triple slammers, three at a time for the two first and second place getters in Man and Stewart. Simon Young again, three at a time. Kingston behind him, as is Buffin, and back to Martin. At the completion of the third lap, it's David Mann down the back straight away from Tony Stewart. Approaching Coca-Cola Bridge, there's Mann, there's Stewart. Coming up to now is Bellman, and coming around to greet the Coca-Cola sign will be also Simon Young and Stuart Kingston. Ian Buffin coming down there now too, and behind him is Guy Martin. Following Martin is number 55 is Grant Heapy, and a little bit of trouble there for number 71 was Colin Lamb. Let's go back to race leaders now, as approaching the triple slammers is race leader David Mann, doing it very comfortably now, these early two, and they're just picking up a little bit of ground each time over third place getter Paul Bellman, who's only managing 2 and 1. There's Simon Young, he's taking them 3 at a time, but he's being followed by Buffin and Kingston, who are doing it 2 and 1. The blue flag is out for the race leader. First, second and third have greeted the blue flag. There's Simon Young in fourth to get the blue. There's Kingston and Buffin going over the canyon jump now. Behind him, Martin. Following Martin there is number 55, Grant Heapy. We'll call them all the way around now. Colin Lamb follows him behind Man. Number 14, blow me into the words. Jamie Bennett's it was. Back to 27, Mark Cummings. 26 is one of those early race winners, David Reichike and Ian Marlin as well. Back to number 37 was Matt Yench. There's David Mann over the triple slammers for the last time. Coming around now to the stutters. He's still got number 38, Tony Stewart, on his hammer. And Paul Bellman still back in third spot. There's the winner's flag there for David Mann. In second spot, number 38 is Tony Stewart. The third man, 43, was lapped. There's third place getter Paul Bellman. Coming around now into fourth is Simon Young. Can Buffin make it up on Kingston? No, it can't. Kingston it is on the Honda. It takes it over Buffin in fifth and sixth place respectively. Back to Guy Martin. They're all through, these fellows, into the final. Number 55 there was Grant Heapy. 71, Colin Lamb, and the last guy into the final, number 5, was David Stewart. There's certainly a difference in the class there between the leaders and the also-rans. A very good race to David Mann, who led pretty much all the way after that kerfuffle at the start, where Simon Young and Stuart Kingston tangled. That left Kingston back quite a way, and David Mann was able to consolidate and lead the race continually from Tony Stewart. Back in third spot there was Paul Bellman. Fourth was Simon Young. Fifth was Stuart Kingston, just by a wheel from Mildura's Ian Buffin. Mildura has a finalist in C grade. Event 8 will be the consolation race for C grade, if there are any starters left. purely a consolation race, event 8, may well be removed from the program. This is the remainder of those who haven't been able to progress through to the finals. Some of these guys were just out the previous time around, so that little break has given them a spell, and we're ready now to recommence the program. The lights are on. The overhead lighting now fully engaged, and as the sun sinks further, you'll see this wonderful Supercross under lights appear before you. There we go, we've got the green light. They're away. Number 35 it is, I think, who's snuck out in front there is Peter White. Peter White on the Honda. Yes, that's right. He's being followed fairly closely by Tony Whitehead, is it? No, it's John White. 62, Martin Nelson. And back in fourth spot there would be Alan Borrowdale. They're going to come around now and get the green flag. Just write who they are. Just on a piece of paper and it'll be easier. It's White, Nelson and Borrowdale. White on the Honda, White on the Kawasaki. Nelson there, you'll see, has his headlight on. He's actually on a trail bike, this fellow, and that's very, very good to see. It's a KTM enduro bike, and I think you'll probably see that he's fairly competitive amongst this grade of riders. As they go now over the awesome doubles, it's White from White and Nelson. Borrowdale coming around now to go underneath that Coca-Cola bridge. And that little lip has been added for a very good reason. It's going to give the riders more height off the Coca-Cola bridge. And you'll see amongst the A-grade riders some very long jumping. And I expect you'll also see it from the juniors as well. Followed by John White, Martin Nelson back to Alan Borrowdale. It's a race in front there between White and White. Honda versus Kawasaki. KTM there too, the enduro bike, keeping up quite nicely at this stage. These guys certainly aren't jumping the distances that we would expect from the juniors or the A and B grade riders. Oh, getting a bit thin on top. Yeah. The order hasn't changed in this, the C-grade consolation. But if you look over to the start line, you'll see the contestants for race 9, the first of the A and B grade heats, out there checking their starting ground, making sure in their own minds that they've got everything in order. You've heard them all say they're all pumped up for tonight's racing, and they're out there just putting the finishing touches to it. White and Nelson. There's White gone, and it allows the other White to move through there now was John White. Nelson finds himself in second spot, and back down there now to the end of the stutters is Peter White, number 35 on the Honda. The man on the KTM, I think, fancies his chances of getting around here, so let's watch him. I think we've seen Peter White retire now, so it's a race in 3, this consolation race. John White it is. There's the KTM man moving up, Martin Nelson. He's certainly having a look and see whether he can go underneath John White at any occasion. Perhaps getting a little bit left behind, just under acceleration. Very good to see somebody on an enduro bike coming here to contest C-grade competition. Across the stutters, it should be pretty good there. It's got plenty of travel. In 1 lap's time, we'll see the blue flag come out. There's 2 left to go from here. John White, Martin Nelson. The retirement was Peter White, and it's a long way back now to Alan Borrowdale on the KX Kawasaki. And I think John White might probably just do enough to hold on over Martin Nelson in this event to take out first place in the C grade consolation race. Nelson was a little closer to White on the previous occasion over on the tabletop, and I think White just able to extend his lead as and when required. They're taking it pretty safe, 2+1, as these are the non-finalists in C grade. We have a final. Event 18 has been decided already. There's 20 riders have moved through now, and these are the remaining riders who probably due mostly to poor luck find themselves in this consolation race. The activity is over at the start line though, and that's where the first of the A grade riders is tonight. And what a wonderful series of heats they'll be. They're nicely loaded to get most of the good riders through to the finals. In that we should see Glenn Bell, Malcolm Watson, Gavin Hutton. But as we move back now over on the second end of double jumps there, just moving onto the tabletop, John White, followed by Martin Nelson, and they've moved out very clearly now from Borrowdale, who's just got 1 lap to go, 2 laps to go. Make sure you don't drop them, mate, because they fall off. 1 lap to go there now is the indication from track marshal Brian Adams. John White, he's still got Martin Nelson right on his hammer. And Borrowdale it is coming over the awesome doubles, which he's treated as awesome singles. Under that Coca-Cola bridge for the last time, John White, Martin Nelson there, right on his wheel, and approaching the triple slammers, Alan Borrowdale. Here we go for the last time to White and Nelson. 2+1 it'll be for these two riders. Here we go as around to greet the judge following the stutter jumps will be John White. That was a good ride there from John White. Martin Nelson certainly also did very well on that Enduro KTM machine as he followed the Kawasaki all the way around. Half a lap behind, or a little better than that, would be Alan Borrowdale. As I said, that activity over at the start line, the A-grade riders on their machines now, all in readiness for event 9, the first of the A and B grade heats. All of the riders in those heats will move through to the second round, event 14 that will be. Is coming across the triple slammers for the fifth and final time is Alan Borrowdale. And he'll come around now to take third place in the C grade consolation. Convincingly won by John White. A very good second to him was Martin Nelson on a KTM Enduro machine. And there making his way back home now is Alan Borrowdale.
Dale Britton, the rider standing behind, obviously checking out the start line. As the lights start their final countdown sequence, the green lights on, the gate drops, and away they go to Yamaha. Glenn Bell in front. He's going to be hard to beat. He was going to be hard to beat from well back in the field, but Bell from the front of the field is going to be very, very hard to beat. Number 20, Gavin Hutton in second place as Bell clears the triples and does it easy. Malcolm Watson, number 6, is pushing Hutton for that second place, and there's Trevor Thomas around the outside of Watson, but out in front, Glenn Bell as 96. Shane Tricky bites the dust going over the stutter jumps, but up the Marlborough Straight for the first time, it's Glenn Bell, 10 metres in front of Gavin Hutton. Bell doing it easy. As expected, out in front, Gavin Hutton in second place, Trevor Thomas in third, Malcolm Watson in fourth, closely pressed by Sandy Spencer, number 31, in fifth place. Glenn Bell over the tabletop. Around the berm corner, lines up the triples, and there he goes, he clears them easily. Gavin Hutton clears them by a long way, comes down very hard, but he's not letting Glenn Bell get away from him. Bell in first place, Hutton in second, Thomas in third, Malcolm Watson in fourth, and he's being very closely pressed now by Sandy Spencer, number 31. Glenn Bell lines up the Coca-Cola Bridge, and there he is. He lands on the downhill side. So does Hutton. There, I'd say the longest jump so far tonight, Trevor Thomas on number 11. As there's a change of position back in the field, number 31, that's Sandy Spencer, goes inside Malcolm Watson to pick up fourth place. As they come round to the awesome double, Spencer does them two at a time. Dennis Bell lines up the triple slammers. Gavin Hutton a triple slammer. Trevor Thomas a triple slammer. Sandy Spencer triple slammer. Malcolm Watson, all of these A and B grade riders doing it easily now over the triple jump. So there's Stephen Tozer decided 2 and 1, and there's 73. He nearly didn't make it across Peter Shaper. But Glenn Bell, that's got to be the longest jump so far now for Bell. Lands well down the hill on the Coca-Cola jump. So Glenn Bell, I would say, but it's the crowd reaction we've got to judge, not our judgment from up here. So Glenn Bell up to the tabletop. Over that, into the big left-hand boom, lines up the triple jumps. A triple slammer once again. Bell's getting the distance right, landing just on the downhill ramp. So is Gavin Hutton. So is Trevor Thomas. So Bell heads off up Marlborough Straight now. Into the left-hander, he comes around to the Coca-Cola Bridge. How far will he jump this time? No, not as far as last time. Hutton lands on the downhill side. Thomas lands on top. Good jump there from Sandy Spencer, but I'd say Glenn Bell has jumped the furthest at this stage. Glenn Bell lines up the triples, takes a low line. Gavin Hutton clears them well. Trevor Thomas and Sandy Spencer. There's Bell, comes around across the table, the canyon jump, gets the blue flag, heads off on his last lap. Gavin Hutton still in second place, Trevor Thomas third, and Sandy Spencer in fourth place. But here's Bell, lines up the Coca-Cola Bridge. Still not as far as about 3 laps ago, I don't think, as he lands on the downhill side. Trevor Thomas, a big jump from him. Bell over the awesome doubles, lines up the next set of doubles. Around the right-hand berm, in the left-hand corner to the tabletop jump. Over that for the last time. Left-handed, the low line, lines up the triples. Another triple slammer. Gavin Hutton takes the high line around the corner, followed by Trevor Thomas and Sandy Spencer. There we are. A good ride from Glenn Bell, number 2. In second place, Gavin Hutton crosses his bike up. Trevor Thomas in third place, Sandy Spencer fourth, Malcolm Watson 5th place, Andy Hayden in 6th place. Shane Tricky, the rider who came down early in the first lap, crosses the finish line now. Waiting on Glenn Martin, who's just approaching the stutter bumps, followed by number 16, Stephen Tozer, and 73, Peter Shaper. So a fairly quick time there for Glenn Bell, 4 minutes 59 seconds for Glenn Bell in the first of the A and B grade heats.
Oh yeah. Yeah, plus 32.
In the starter's hands now, the green light's on. Heat 2's on. There we go. Looks like Dean Bird out in front from Heffernan. Let's see how they come around the other side there now. Yes, it's Bird out in front, I think, from Heffernan. Behind him would be number 21 would be Kirkman, followed by Dale Britton in the Dayglow Orange. Coming across the stutters there now, and we do have a race. The green flag is out. Indicates to the riders we're certainly in action. As they go down the back straightaway, Dean Burt, followed by Lyndon Heffernan. Back now to Mark Kirkman. He's being followed by Dale Britton. Mark Weaver behind him too there now, and number 33, I think, is Brenton Colson. 52, John Gall, followed by Philip Rourke, and back in last spot there now is Stephen Lewis in the blue. Coming around now onto the tabletop jump for the first time, race leader Dean Bird, ex-junior. He's being followed by Lyndon Heffernan. Following him there now too is still Kirkman, and the Western Australian Dale Britton behind him. They're all taking them 3 at the time as well. There goes 33, Brenton Colston. He's being followed by John Gall. Back behind him now too is Andrew Dudley. But as we go down the back straightaway, it's Dean Burke clearing away now from Lyndon Heffernan. He's got 40 metres over Heffernan, a further 20, 30 metres back to Mark Kirkman, and Dale Britton right on Kirkman's hammer. Who's the longest jumper in this heat? Was certainly Glenn Bell the first time around. Going out over the awesome doubles there now is Heffernan. Behind him is Kirkman, followed by Britton. But going onto the tabletop for the second time is race leader Dean Burt. Kawasaki powered Burke leading away there from Heffernan. 3 on the trot, they go over the triple slammer. There goes Heffernan. 2 following is Kirkman. There's Britton. Behind him there now is Weaver. And Colston it is there on the Kawasaki in the Dayglow red colours. Down the back straight away we have Burt. He's opening up good ground over Lyndon Heffernan. Mark Weaver still holding over. Mark Kirkman, sorry, holding in 3rd spot there. Behind him is Dale Britton. There's Heffernan over the awesome doubles. The second set of doubles is cleared by Burt, so too does Heffernan. Around comes Kirkman. He's being followed by Britton and Weaver. And behind Weaver there too is Colston. Coming around now off the second set of doubles is Andrew Dudley. And behind him too is John Gall. There's 3 on the trot again for number 21, Mark Kirkman, the 3rd place rider, as he's being pressurised now by Dale Britton and Mark Weaver too on his hammer. Can Britton go on the inside? No. Kirkman's too good for that. Let's see where Britton tries to pass Kirkman. It could be on the inside of this turn now, coming down off the back straightaway and onto Coca-Cola Bridge. Kirkman it is still in front, however, Britton behind him. Weaver also back there too, as coming off the awesome doubles is race leader Dean Burt. Off the kangaroo jump now, Dean Britton under the Coca-Cola Bridge. Awesome doubles too for Britton, as well as Weaver. But coming now down onto the triple slammers, Dean Burt again. He'll get the blue flag as he comes around this time. Oh, nose down first for Heffernan off the triples. Pressure still on Kirkman from Britton in 4th spot. blue flag for second place. Gitta Heffernan. Coming around now, Kirkman. Britton still on his wheel. So too is Weaver behind him there now. Burt, not a very long jump there. The longest jump in this race lies with Weaver, number 17. Heffernan, too, not too good off that big Coca-Cola bridge. Here comes Weaver. Let's see what sort of a jump he made. No, that wasn't much good from Weaver at all. Is going around now to the tabletop entry point is race leader Dean Burt. We'll follow him now to the conclusion of this race. Dean Burt off the tabletop. Heffernan on top of it now. Burt entering the triple slammers. There we go, 3 and 1. Lands on the downside of the ramp, a little sideways. Heffernan just a little short on that triple slammer there now, and coming off the stutters is a good race winner. Dean Burt, ex-junior champion, acknowledges the crowd. There's Lyndon Heffernan. As you heard, Heffernan off to California in 2 days' time to continue his career. Third spot there is Mark Kirkman. Fourth is Dale Britton. And in fifth spot, Mark Weaver. Back in sixth there now was Brenton Colston. Andrew Dudley follows him through in seventh place. Coming around now onto the stutters for the last time is John Gall on the Yamaha. Entering the stutters there now as well is Stephen Lewis in the blue riding outfit. And he'll be followed as the last man home by Philip Rourke. That was an interesting race, ladies and gentlemen. I've been advised the time was again 4.4 minutes, 59 seconds. So Bell and race winner Burt have recorded in exactly the same times, which augurs well for the remaining section of the program. First place, Dean Burt. Second, Lyndon Heffernan. Third spot was Kirkman. Fourth was Britton. And in fifth spot, Mark Weaver. 4 minutes 59 the time. We've got a minute to go there now as the time clock indicates. Hand you back to Clint Williams for event 11, I'm sorry.
The riders to watch after this afternoon's practice in this event would be number 5, Stephen Dinsdale, 27, David McSwain, and also number 9, David Mayhew.
Hey, number 7, 12.
So far, the rider who's got the furthest jump is number 12. There's a rider tried to get a jump start, number 9, David Mayhew, and he got into all sorts of bother because the gate drops back towards him. But out in front, it's 27, David McSwain, the local rider. 55, Darren Tricky in second place. I can't pick up the Suzuki's number, but just been passed by a Honda, number 22, Nigel Bolton. And number 18, that's Griffiths on the Suzuki, Mark Griffiths. But out in front, David McSwain from 55, Darren Tricky. McSwain from Tricky. Bolton on the Honda in third place. A close tussle there between Griffiths and Dinsdale. Back in fourth place, there's Dinsdale moving his way through. Got through 2 riders there. Number 9, the rider who got stuck at the start line there. David Mayhew in all sorts of bother as he went across the starter jumps. But David McSwain, the local rider, opening up quite a deal of lead now over Darren Tricky. So David McSwain leading Darren Tricky. That's Stephen Dinsdale making a move through the pack now. Watch number 5, Stephen Dinsdale from Mackay in Queensland. He's going pretty well on the Honda. Mark Griffiths on the Suzuki, number 18 behind him, and then 22, Nigel Bolton in 5th place. But McSwain comes around to the Coca-Cola jump. That's a long jump from McSwain, but not as long as number 12, Dean Burt in the last event. So McSwain furthering his lead now as he comes around to the awesome doubles. Oh, lands short onto the second one, but he's able to get across okay. He was doing that very well in practice. Must be the pressure of the race that's got to David McSwain over the tabletop. Lines up the triple jump. A triple slammer there from McSwain. Darren Tricky coming under pressure now from Stephen Dinsdale. Dinsdale moving up through the field. Got a pretty poor start. Dinsdale round the outside of Tricky. No, chops to the inside as they come up towards the start-finish line. It's Tricky on the outside. Dinsdale on the inside. Tricky chops across the front of him. So Dinsdale forced to back off as they head up the Marlborough Straight now. It's Tricky. Dinsdale. Dinsdale comes to the inside of the track. No, follows Tricky across the Coca-Cola Bridge. Dinsdale up the inside. Tricky on the outside. Head up towards the kangaroo jump. Dinsdale takes them two at a time. Up towards the awesome double. Dinsdale, a very big jump round the outside. He cleans up Tricky's handlebars and Tricky goes down. Dinsdale rode very, very close there to Darren Tricky. Took his handlebars out from underneath him. Tricky all dressed up, nowhere to go. Just fell straight onto his arm off the side of the bike. So it's David McSwain now. He'll have to go pretty hard to finish in front of the hard-charging Stephen Dinsdale. And there's Griffiths down over the triples. McSwain over the Coca-Cola Bridge. Coming up to the kangaroo jump is David McSwain as Stephen Dinsdale goes across the starter jumps. McSwain once again lands on top of the second of the awesome double. Dinsdale missed a gear there as he came down, so that allowed McSwain to open up a little bit more. So David McSwain now lines up the triples. If anything, once Dinsdale missed that gear, McSwain's opened up a little bit of track between himself and Dinsdale. David McSwain across the canyon jump gets the blue last lap flag. Stephen Dinsdale not going quite as hard now, must have decided that a safe second is the way to go. McSwain, a pretty big jump across the Coca-Cola Bridge. Dinsdale up to the kangaroo jump as David Mayhew, the rider who was in all sorts of bother the first couple of laps, has moved through the field to pick up that third place as David McSwain comes across the tabletop for the first time. There's Mayhew, a big leap over the doubles, but McSwain coming around to the triples, clears them easily. Down towards the starter jumps for the last time, and he has opened up ground on Dinsdale over the last lap. So McSwain, local rider David McSwain, picks up first in the third heat of the A and B grade. Stephen Dinsdale from Mackay in Queensland picks up second, and David Mayhew, the rider who charged the gate and then discovered that it drops back towards him. How about a big hand now for David McSwain as he comes up, and Stephen Dinsdale and David Mayhew, the first three place getters, they come back in front of the crowd.
5:12.
5 minutes 12 the time there for McSwain, so a little bit slower than the previous two heats. He didn't have a lot of pressure on him, so we'll see how he goes when we get to the consolation, the semi-final event. David McSwain, the first local rider to win an A and B grade heat here at Mildura. So a good ride there from McSwain. David Mayhew, as I was explaining, the gate drops back towards the riders, not away from them, like at some tracks. Mayhew charged the gate and therefore it wasn't able to drop down, so he had to stop, back off and then have another go, and he started dead last in that event, but managed to move right through the field up into third place, behind McSwain and Dinsdale. morning, Joe.
Good to see that all those riders who crashed.
Yeah.
Gee, that was
There we go, we're under starters orders, and I think it might be Stephen Breeze out in front there, but going through very quickly, look like Scott Pearce. Oh, we've got a big pile up there in the corner. There's a red light on play. We see the flashing red light. The flag will come out to indicate an unsatisfactory start, as many riders came down in that first turn. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the first opportunity that we have to display the red flag with a margin of safety built in, and even some people don't even see it. The red flag out, certainly bunching in that first turn. Hedrick's not happy there at the start line with one of the riders, and we saw what happens when you touch that gate. It will not drop just on you, so you certainly disadvantage yourself substantially. Pays just to keep a couple of inches back and keep your hand on the clutch until it drops of its own accord. There's 9, 8. Let's count it down to the green. Then we're in John Hedrick's hands for a start for this, the third of the A and B grade. There we go, there's the green. Hedricks has let them go. And out in front very early, I think, would be Armstrong. Armstrong on the Kawasaki, the Queensland rider. He's being followed there by Stephen Andrew, I think, number 29. Yes, that's Andrew. In third place would be Stephen Hunter. Coming under the inside there now into fourth place is John Pryor. Then back to number 10, Stephen Breeze. An early leader is Armstrong. He's got Stephen Andrew right on his back wheel. As they go down the back straight away, in third spot is Stephen Hunter. Back then to in fourth place is Stephen Breeze. We've had a change in leadership there over the Coca-Cola jump, and a good jump there too it was from Stephen Andrew. As Armstrong moves back into third place, and it was number 19, Stephen Hunter, that went through on the inside of him. Over the awesome doubles, it is Hunter there in second spot. Stephen Breeze in third. Armstrong, I think, couldn't see. He's pulled off, cleared the fog out from his goggles, and he's underway again as he enters the Coca-Cola bridge. 3 on the trot, there it is for Stephen Andrew. So too does Stephen Hunter, as well as Stephen Breeze in third place. Back to number 28 is John Pryor, and 42, Mal Dalton. 3 on the trot also there for Philip Brook, but taking them 2 at a time is the Mildura rider, Rowan Hollis. Hollis, the only Suzuki on the track. And a contest it is now for second and third, as moving up into second place will be Stephen Breeze. He's taken over second spot from Stephen Hunter on the Honda. Coming out now over the awesome doubles is race leader Stephen Andrew. Stephen Andrew now makes his way around to the tabletop jump. Stephen Andrew it is. Stephen Breeze following him. Stephen Hunter back in third place. Coming onto the tabletop now in fourth would be number 42, Mal Dalton. Coming down off the tabletop there now as well would be John Pryor, number 28, as our race leader. Stephen Andrew goes back onto the back straightaway. Oh, there's a bit of bother there for Mal Dalton, I think, as he came off the stutters fairly well crossed up. And the triple slammer there was by David Armstrong in an attempt to pick up ground, and he was able to pass Rowan Hollis as he went through that triple slammer. Out of control there, number 93 is Scott Pearce. And back down to Philip Brook, who takes the position a little safer than the rest. Approaching the tabletop jump now is the race leader, Stephen Andrew. Behind him now on the top of the table is Stephen Breeze. Hunter approaching there as well. Stephen Andrew with the Dayglow pink stripe on the helmet. Certainly looks good under the lights of the Mildura Mallee Masters Supercross track. Stephen Breeze over the canyon, so too goes Hunter. While coming off the stutters is Dalton, being closely followed by Pryor. Dinsdale, Armstrong it is there that's picked up a lot of ground after fogging up early. And Dinsdale will certainly want to, Armstrong, I'm sorry, will certainly want to improve his position from there. We're back to the tabletop now with race leader Stephen Andrew. There he goes off the top, coming down now around to the approachway to the triple slammers. Onto the stutter jumps now.
Where did he come from?
1 lap to go it is for Stephen Andrew. He's got 70 or 80 metres in the lead to Stephen Breeze, number 10. Behind him, Stephen Hunter. Hunter in the all-red Honda strip. Following in the day-glow green colour would be Mal Dalton, just on the stutters there now, and Armstrong pressurising him in 5th place. Armstrong has certainly picked up a lot of ground. Pryor it is now who comes off the stutters and comes around to greet the blue flag. As too soon will Rowan Hollis, the Suzuki rider from Mildura. Coming down now for the last time on the triple slammer is Stephen Andrew. He's consolidated this win very, very easily now. Does it very easily over the stutters. There's 2nd place getter on the triple slammers is Stephen Breeze. But there's our race winner. Breeze was in trouble there as he landed. Didn't allow Hunter to catch up much ground though, and it'll be Breeze who comes around to take 2nd place behind Stephen Andrew. Coming across the line now, over the canyon goes Stephen Hunter. In 4th spot there, passing Dalton on that lap, was David Armstrong, the Queensland rider. Mal Dalton coming around now to take over 4th spot. Pryor it is in 5th, followed by Hollis. He's in front of Philip Brook, as it's Brooks now who comes to greet the judge, although he is a lapped rider. And number 93 now, just coming onto the stutters proper, is Scott Pearce. Very convincing win there to Stephen Andrew. Possibly a heat made easier for Andrew by the fact that Armstrong fogged up early, couldn't see, had to stop and clean his goggles and get back underway again. So that allowed Andrew a very easy heat. We would have expected Armstrong to be up there amongst them. 2nd place was Stephen Breeze, the Victorian rider. From New South Wales in 3rd was Stephen Hunter. And picking up the 4th place was David Armstrong.
Thank you, John. Riders now on the line, that's the juniors. We'll get another very exciting race as they head off there. A Kawasaki, looks like number 5 in front, Lee Hogan. It is Hogan in front. 28. Rodney Hamilton in 2nd place. And 3 is Stephen Maguire in 3rd place. There's Hamilton down. So Rodney Hamilton drops it coming out of the starter jump. With Lee Hogan opening up a bit of a gap now as he comes around to the Coca-Cola Bridge. Hamilton over 1st, Maguire 2nd, Ben Perez in 3rd place. Oh, there's a big crash there. I think it was number 60, Ben Perez. I'm not quite sure though. We'll wait and see the riders come around. Lee Hogan it is in front, number 5, 3 Stephen Maguire, 162 Bent Linskog. Rodney Hamilton after crashing, is back up to 4th place. So Lee Hogan comes up to the kangaroo jump, over that, underneath the Coca-Cola bridge, up to the awesome doubles, does it easily, lines up the other doubles, over them in the right-hand boom, swings around to the tabletop, down, lines up the triples. Lee Hogan over the triples easily. We've got riders coming off everywhere. Number 60 it is. Ben Parise, that's him sitting on the hay bales there in the infield. The other one was Jason Trevina, who fell on the other side. He's on the ground now. The St John's ambulance are attending him as our leader comes over the Coca-Cola jump. Lee Hogan across the starter jumps, around to the kangaroo. Stephen Maguire still in 2nd place. Rodney Hamilton, though, it is gaining ground on Maguire. So Hamilton in 3rd. A long way back to Bent Linscock. He's followed by Troy Doran. But back out in front, our leaders coming around to the triple jumps. Stephen Maguire. Rodney Hamilton, though, gaining ground on Maguire. Here he is flying through the starter jumps. So Maguire, but Hamilton really gaining now. So it's Australia 1, Rodney Hamilton on number 20, catching up on Australia 2, Stephen Maguire on number 3. Maguire has got going again, open up a greater lead over Rodney Hamilton. Hamilton there landed on the top of the triple jump. Didn't seem to slow him down. He's quicker through that area of the track and gains on Maguire. Maguire gains then around other parts of the track. Maguire got about 20-30 metres now over Rodney Hamilton as they head up Marlborough Straight, turn around, line up the Coca-Cola bridge. Maguire, Hamilton comes across that very, very quickly. And it's Maguire underneath the kangaroo, the Coca-Cola bridge over the awesome doubles. Next set of doubles, Hamilton trying very hard to make up that ground. They've only got the tabletop around to the triples, then the stutters to the checkered flag. And I would say at this stage it's Stephen Maguire who's going to accept that checkered flag in 1st place. Rodney Hamilton in 2nd place. Maguire comes up to the stutter jumps. It's getting closer, but Stephen Maguire finishes about 10 or 15 metres in front of Rodney Hamilton. So a good ride from Hamilton to come through into 2nd place. 162, Bent Linscock is being pressured into the 3rd place by Troy Doran, but Linscock manages to hang on. Put your hands together for these young riders. They come back in front of the crowd. That's Rodney Hamilton, Stephen Maguire, who was in 1st place, Bent Linscock and Troy Doran. Time for that event, very similar time to David McSwain's winning race in his last, the A-grade race. So these little blokes really fly on the 125s, 5 minutes and 12 seconds. So a pretty quick race there to Stephen Maguire, 5 minutes, 12 seconds for the 6 laps of this Olympic Park Supercross track. So quick run through the placings once more for you. Stephen Maguire in 1st place. I'll have to apologise there. It was Lee Hogan, number 5, who won that event from number 3, Stephen Maguire. Hogan was so far in front I didn't even pick him up. Maguire in 2nd place and Rodney Hamilton in 3rd place. And Bent Lingstog in 4th place.
Well, Bert at the present time is leading the longest jump off the Coca-Cola Bridge. Oh, there's one gone right over the top. Malcolm Watson actually climbed over the start line. Right over the top of the start line. Certainly a little impatient there, and he'll get a caning from official starter John Hedricks. Back in the starter's hands now. In the countdown sequence, it was Watson who was impatient. The start is so important here. It's like a big long funnel on the other side of the track as they come down to probably 2 or 3 wide going into that first turn with so much pace on. And we see them as they come from the other side of the tabletop mountain over the other side of the track. The first 9 in this first semi-final proceed straight to the final. There is a repechage for the remainder. There's our 10. Count them down now. There's the green. Hedricks lets them go. And it's Bert that's got out in front. Behind him there is Trevor Thomas, I believe. Yes, it's Bert. He's got Heffernan, I think it is, behind him. Thomas is up there too. Number 20 is Hutton. Look at them all, 3 in a trot. The first 5 over the triples. We have a green flag to the riders. Bert it is out in front. Heffernan back to Hutton. 96 there is Shane Tricky. This is spectacular action. Dean Burt off the Coca-Cola Bridge. Look at that for a jump. He's halfway down. Heffernan's there. So too is Hutton. Tricky behind him. Thomas it is in the blue-wheeled Honda. Going through on the inside of Spencer was rider number 2, Glenn Bell. Bell won't like being this far back. And let's watch Glenn Bell try and progress his way up through, past Thomas first of all, up to the race lead. Dean Burt it is who's got right away now from Lyndon Heffernan. Hutton it is. On the outside of Hutton, we've got a problem over there with a Kawasaki rider. I can't pick up his number. But it's Dean Burt with a clean pair of heels. 73 it was who came down over there, and that was the rider Peter Shaper from Victoria. Down the back straight away onto Coca-Cola Bridge again. Watch Burt jump. Not a long one this time. Heffernan too there behind him, Hutton behind him, back to Tricky, back to Thomas. Bell there still in 6th place. Behind Bell is rider number 31, Sandy Spencer. Behind him too there was Weaver, who did well in that other race, and behind Weaver is Britton. Britton is being followed by Brenton Colston it is, number 33. But coming down now onto the triple slammers for these 3rd time around is Dean Burt. Does them rather easy, so too does Heffernan. Here comes Hutton, so too Tricky, Thomas, Bell. They're all doing it now that they've got the room. There goes number 6 over the top was Watson. He was the impatient one at the first time around at the start. But down the back straight away now is Dean Burt, the race leader. Off Coca-Cola Bridge comes Burt. There's Heffernan there too now. Behind Heffernan I think will still be Hutton. Yes, it's Hutton there. Bell moving up on the outside of number 96 is Shane Tricky, but Thomas also has moved up one past Tricky, and Bell still has Thomas to contend with. Thomas on the blue-wheeled Honda. There goes Bell on the inside of him and takes him on that turn as they approach the tabletop now.
Bell has moved past Thomas, and he only has Hutton in front of him now, and then Heffernan and Burt. Coming around now to greet the judge again, Dean Burt, the race leader on the Kawasaki machine there. Lyndon Heffernan, soon to travel to California in second place. There's Hutton, there's Bell, Thomas. Number 31 there is Sandy Spencer. Behind him was Weaver. There's Dale Britton. Colston it is there on number 33. Watson goes over, so too does Mark Kirkman. And coming off the stutters now as well is John Gall. He's been followed by number 26 there. Bell through over here. Bell is now through into third spot. He's got Heffernan in his sights now as he's just gone past Hutton, going through underneath the Coca-Cola bridge. Watch out for Bell there on top of the tabletop. There comes Glenn Bell. He can now see Lyndon Heffernan, who's just landed off the triple slammer. There's race leader Dean Burke, gets the blue flag from Brian Adams. So too does Lyndon Heffernan. There's Dean Bell. Hutton's gone wide. That allows Thomas through. Thomas through into fourth place there now in front of Hutton. There is Sandy Spencer, also Kirkman and Britton. Weaver and Britton, I'm sorry. Back to Colston. Watson there, number 6, and back to Mark Kirkman, number 21. Let's follow race leader now as he goes over the second set of doubles. Coming now onto the tabletop jump is Dean Burt. Heffernan's closed a little, but I think it's probably Burt who's backed off a little. Triple slammer for the last time for Dean Burt. Makes it easy, just lands on top. Heffernan lands on the downward side. Here goes Glenn Bell. He'll do it nicely as well. But coming around, ladies and gentlemen, there's your race winner, Dean Burt on the Kawasaki. Dean Burt wins from Lyndon Heffernan. Burt, I think, was slowing down there. Glenn Bell could lose third place here. He's just quick enough to hold off. Number 11 was Trevor Thomas. Dean Bell it was in third place. Trevor Thomas in fourth. Hutton it was in fifth. 31 was Spencer in sixth. Dale Britton and Mark Kirkman, I think it was. Mark Weaver, I'm sorry, there it was. Watson goes through too. Coming around now, number 26 is Andrew Dudley. He's being followed by Andy Hayden. So too is John Gall. Over the top is Glenn Martin. Philip Rourke there as well. Stephen Tozer, a long way back for Tozer. Stephen Lewis in the blue riding outfit goes over. And I think the last of all there will be Shane Trickey. That time has been repeated. We've got another 4:59 time. That's 3 of the races tonight have been 4:59s, and remember that one of David McSwain's was a 5:12. So that's 2 at 4:59 to Burt, 1 at 4:59 to Bell, and the other heat winner was David McSwain in 5:12. The first 9 to qualify somewhere. The first 9 to qualify, of course, will be Burt, Heffernan, Bell, Thomas, Hutton, Spencer. Got a rider down over in the, just over on the other side of the Coca-Cola bridge. Don't forget there is a cash inducement for the largest jump. As indicated by the crowd, we're looking for crowd support for the longest jump off that Coca-Cola bridge for an extra financial inducement. The gate will not fall if he has his wheel up against it, so he is disadvantaged. The other riders make their way into the distance from him. Let's hand over to Clint Williams now for the second of the A and B grade semi-finals. Riders to watch in this would be Stephen Dinsdale, David McSwain out of Heat 3, David Armstrong. And they're away, and that's Stephen Dinsdale in front. Dinsdale, number 5, out in front.
27.
14 is Darryl Kelly in second place. 27 is David McSwain in third place. 29 then is Stephen Andrew in fourth place. But Dinsdale in first, McSwain through into second place. Kelly back to third. Andrew still in fourth place. But Stephen Dinsdale with David McSwain not very far behind. McSwain closed a lot coming into the corner, but as they come across the Coca-Cola bridge, it's Dinsdale with a couple of bike links over McSwain. Dinsdale, fairly forceful rider, forced his way through a couple of times in his heat. Leads from McSwain. They come around to the second set of doubles. Dinsdale, McSwain, Kelly. The first 3 riders, they come around now over the tabletop. Dinsdale goes on the low line, McSwain the high line. They come up to the triples, a triple slammer from both of them. McSwain's climbing all over the back of Dinsdale's machine. McSwain and down low comes in. Dinsdale chops him off as they come around to the canyon jump. Dinsdale still in front, McSwain in second, and there's Andrew through into third place past Kelly. And David Mayhew now moves up and also passes Kelly as they come around to the Coca-Cola jump. McSwain, he's one side of Dinsdale, the other side of Dinsdale, but just can't find a way around him. Well, there's a rider in a lot of bother, falls into the middle of the canyon jump. That's Philip Brook lying in the bottom of the canyon jump as the riders, our leaders, come around to the tabletop jump. It's McSwain still trying his hardest to get around past Dinsdale. Dinsdale takes the low line. McSwain the high line. Stephen Andrew is gaining on these 2 riders now because they're tussling so hard, and that makes it a 3-way duel for first place. Dinsdale, McSwain and Andrew. With David Mayhew not very far behind either. Dinsdale's open up a bit of a lead now, going up the Marlborough Straight in front of McSwain. They come around to the Coca-Cola bridge. Dinsdale, a big jump. McSwain and Andrew. McSwain tries a different line as he comes up to the kangaroo jump, around to the awesome double. Dinsdale over, McSwain over, Andrew over. Dinsdale made a mistake. There's McSwain through. Dinsdale landed on the top of the second of the doubles. Paused momentarily, and that allowed David McSwain to come through. Dinsdale takes the low line though. McSwain the high. Side by side they come into the corner drop off. McSwain in front. Dinsdale behind him. Stephen Andrew about a bike length behind Dinsdale. So the lead's changed, and that's David Armstrong, after a poor start, is through in front of David Mayhew now, fourth place. Mayhew's in 5th, but out in front it's still McSwain. He leads now, opening up a little bit of a gap over Stephen Dinsdale. Stephen Andrew still looking for a way around Dinsdale, although he lost a little bit of ground coming up to the kangaroo jump there. McSwain coming around to the second of the doubles. That's where he passed Dinsdale last lap. Dinsdale does it very tidily that time, although Stephen Andrew had to prop as they came into the berm. McSwain round to the triples, a triple slammer. Dinsdale over, Stephen Andrew over. David Armstrong now up into 4th place. He's over the triples, but it's McSwain. Comes around now to get the blue last lap flag. David McSwain leads Stephen Dinsdale, who in turn leaves Stephen Andrew, and there's a rider down coming off the triples. Looks like number 15, number 19 that is, who is Stephen Hunter, came down off the triples, but it's McSwain, leads across the stutters, lines up the kangaroo jump, over that, turns the bike in mid-air, points it underneath the Coca-Cola bridge, over the first, the awesome double. There's Dinsdale in trouble again, but Stephen Andrew unable to take advantage of him. He was on the wrong side as Dinsdale wobbled towards the outside of the track. So Dinsdale is still in 2nd place, Stephen Andrew in 3rd. David Armstrong in 4th place. But it's McSwain coming around across the stutter jumps. for the final time. A big hand for David McSwain. Second place, Stephen Dinsdale. Third place, Stephen Andrew. Fourth place, David Armstrong. But put your hands together for David McSwain as he comes back past you there. Number 9, David Mayhew next. Then followed by number 10, Stephen Breeze. 14, Darryl Kelly, who was right up in second place early on. 55, Darren Tricky. 19, Stephen Hunter. Stephen Hunter was the last rider to qualify for the final. So Rowan Hollis, another local Mildura rider, missed out. He was in 10th place. He's got to then go forward to the repechage event. And the first and second place getters from the repechage event then go to the final here tonight. Don't forget, the final is over 20 laps, and the winner of the Mallee Masters meeting tonight, if he can repeat the win in the King of the Murray in Easter next year, he'll pick up an additional $1,000 from Hamilton's Jewellers. We'll cross now to John Contract. He's got another interview to do in the centre of the track. John.
Clint, here we go with Australia's top juniors in Supercross. We've got riders here from Sydney. We've got riders from South Australia and Victoria. Lee Hogan has won both events. On the final countdown now. Just say a name if you see one sort of heading out there. You have an idea. Yeah. That's Ben Hingstog that's out in front fairly early there. 4 is Troy Doran in front, but he's got number 5, Lee Hogan, right, who's taken over the triple jumps there. Moving back into third spot is Troy Doran. Taking over now from Brent Lingstog is second place. Singstog. He's been passed too by number 20 is Rodney Hamilton. And as they settle down the back straight away, we see it's Hogan. He's got Doran behind him. Gone up high too is Hamilton. There's Hamilton, number 20, Lingskog, Maguire, Mladden, Parisi, and Marlon Walker. As they come off the awesome doubles down to the second set of doubles prior to the tabletop. Race leader is Hogan on the Kawasaki. Certainly showing a clean pair of heels to the rest of these juniors here tonight. Hogan it is, takes them in 3. Hamilton takes them in 3 and gains ground over Troy Doran, who did them 2+1. That's the advantage of doing the triple slammers in the one go. Hogan it is over the line. Hamilton behind him, Doran, then Lingskog, Maguire, back to number 10 is Mladden. Parisi then comes over the line next, followed by David Day, back to Alan Orchard, number 2, and Adam Cottrell brings up the rear. As we move back now to the Coca-Cola Bridge, just going underneath now is race leader Lee Hogan. He's not getting away from Hamilton though. I think Hamilton fancies his chances here against Hogan. Down off the tabletop comes Hogan, behind him Hamilton, Doran there too. Lingskog under pressure from Maguire as it's back to number 10 there, Matthew Mladden. Hamilton's making up ground here now on Lee Hogan. This will be a good race before it's finished, this one. Kawasaki versus Yamaha. And down the back straight away, coming onto the Coca-Cola jump now is Hogan. He's gone wide. Hamilton takes the inside line and he's closed up even further. Now trailing by only 10 metres from race leader Hogan. Troy Doran back in 4th place. Lindskog back in 5th. Behind him is Maguire and also Matthew Mladden. Coming down off the tabletop now is Ben Parisi. Off the tabletop, Race leader Lee Hogan behind him. Hamilton back now to Troy Doran. Passing Lingskog there is Maguire on the outside, but Lingskog takes it over. There's Maguire back in front again as he lands half a wheel in front of Lingskog. This is a top race out in the front between Lee Hogan and Rodney Hamilton. They're clearing away a little from Troy Doran now. The battle's on for 4th, 5th and 6th place between Maguire, Lingskog and Mladden. And quite a break now back to Ben Parisi. Let's go back to the leaders now as they go underneath the Coca-Cola bridge. There's still only 5 metres in between Lee Hogan and Hamilton. Approaching now the triple slammers is Lee Hogan. Hamilton over it safely as well. Let's look at Troy Doran. He's over it too. A blue flag coming up. 1 lap to go for race leaders. There's Hamilton. He's in front of Hogan. Hamilton's in front of Hogan for the first time for the night. Hogan's got the inside running, but it's Hamilton who comes out half a bike length ahead now. Hogan's going to have to work as they come up to the Coca-Cola bridge. Hamilton it is in front, Hogan behind him, Troy Doran back in 3rd place. Back to Stephen Maguire, and Maguire's jump off the Coca-Cola bridge was a monster last time around. Here he goes again, there's Maguire. Yes, that's beaten Dean Burke's mark. Let's go back to the leaders now, though. It's Hamilton in front over the second set of doubles. Hamilton it is in front of Lee Hogan as they come down off the tabletop now. The main triple jump to go. Triple slam for Rodney Hamilton. He's landed safely, so too is Lee Hogan. And coming around to get the 4 checkered flags is Rodney Hamilton. He sat in the background and took his opportunity. There's our race winner, junior finalist, Rodney Hamilton. Australian junior champion, Rodney Hamilton. He acknowledges the ride of Lee Hogan in 2nd place. In 3rd place there was number 4, Troy Doran. In 5th was Stephen Maguire, who has the biggest jump off the Coca-Cola stand. David Mladden was through there as well as Bent Lingstog. Coming around now to greet the checkered flag is Ben Parisi. While still on the track we have number 36, David Day. Number 2 would be Alan Orchard, and number 6, Adam Cottrell. What a great race then from Hamilton. He sweated on Hogan for 4 laps. 2 laps to go, he took away Hogan's lead. Hogan hadn't been headed all night. The time was a very startling 5 minutes and 8 seconds. 5 minutes and 8 seconds for that. Well, this...
We've got a very urgent message here. With the owner of a Holden Premier RJC 079, could you please shift your vehicle? We've got someone needs to go up to the hospital. They can't get out because your vehicle's parked behind them. RJC 079, would you be able to shift that vehicle pretty quickly for us, please? Because we've got someone needs to go up to the hospital and they can't get their vehicle out. So that's the owner of Holden Premier.
Yeah. I'm just like seeing Jeff Taylor put on his bike. And I like to thank all the riders, especially Lee. Had a pretty smart one there. Thanks a lot, Ronnie. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, these blokes here are going to be the Supercross stars of the future. So put your hands together for them once again. Come on, they've done an extremely good job. So a quick word now from Brian Adams before we finish off. Just give us the program for one quick there, and I can tell that take us here tonight that so far, according to our judge over there with the yellow and black flag, the biggest jumpers also to a junior. The number 3, Steve Maguire, so far, it's like the boys in the tire agree.
There they go. And And all the yellows light up. They come down from the top. The green light goes. Then the gate drops and away they go. 52 it looks like. 52 John Gall in first place. He went around the corner. He's lost it now to 16 Stephen Tozer. There's 3 riders down in the triple jumps there. 3 riders down. Bikes are tangled up. One of them's Rowan Hollis, local rider, so he'll be hard pressed to pick up a first or second place in this event now. So out in front, that looks like 16 Stephen Tozer as he comes across the Coca-Cola Bridge. 52 John Gall in second place. He's being pressured now by 25 Andy Hayden from South Australia. Hayden up the inside of Gall. No, he's not able to get through. So Stephen Tozer, I would think that Andy Hayden would make his way into the final, but we'll just have to wait and see. Stephen Tozer, 2 and 1 over the triples. Andy Hayden over them in 1. David Gall being pressured now by 42 Mel Dalton for that third place. And Dalton, oh, there's number 6 down, who was Malcolm Watson, threw it away in the stutters. Stephen Tozer over the Coca-Cola jump. Andy Hayden it is, up in the second place. 2 riders down, past the start-finish line here. 94 and 96. There were Ed Miller and Shane Trickey, both fell down. There's another rider down. We're back to our leaders, Steve Tozer and Andy Hayden. John Gall still holding down third place, but we've got Mel Dalton now moving up behind Gall. That's Tozer across the finish line once again with Andy Hayden in that second place. They've only got to finish first or second, remember, to go through to the final. Tozer up to the kangaroo jump underneath the Coca-Cola Bridge to the awesome double. Those two have opened up quite a lead now over Gall in third place. And Mel Dalton not able to gain on Gall. But there's a rider moving through. 2 riders going across the doubles there fairly smartly. I can't pick up the numbers from here. Andrew Dudley it was, the number 26, the 125 Kawasaki, moving up through the field fairly smartly there. He's towing number 70 along with him, Adrian Channing. Steve Tozer, as he goes underneath the Coca-Cola Bridge, he's still got the same sort of lead over Andy Hayden. But Tozer closing up on a slower rider, about to lap him. That slower rider is... I can't pick up the number. .64 that rider is, Stephen Lewis, that Tozer's gaining ground on, but unable to get past there. There's Tozer around the outside of Lewis now, but not able to get past. Lewis goes round over the Coca-Cola Bridge. Lewis down the low line. Tozer then swaps to the inside of the track, through past Lewis. Hayden also passed him very quickly there, and he's right up onto the back wheel of Tozer now. Steve Tozer in first place. Andy Hayden in second, with about half a lap left to go in this repechage event. The Tozer comes around to the triples for the last time. He goes the low line. Hayden goes the high line. There's Hayden over them in one, and he's through. Andy Hayden just past Steve Tozer. Tozer taking it easy. 2 and 1. Allowed Hayden to get through as he gained all that ground in mid-air. So Andy Hayden it is. Picks up first place. Followed by Steve Tozer in second place. 52. Waiting on 52. John Gall to come through. Gall had a good ride. Then Mel Dalton into 4th place. And Andrew Dudley into 5th place. But a good ride there for the 2 riders out in front, Andy Hayden and Steve Tozer. They only had to finish 1st or 2nd to get through into the final for the A and B grade, the Mallee Masters. Both did it quite comfortably. They opened up quite a considerable gap over the 3rd place getter, Gall.
This is what it's all about for the C grade riders. This is the C grade final over 8 laps. Early heat winners were David Mann, Simon Young and Stuart Kingston also did well. So too did Paul Bellman. Mildura rider Robin Bobos, number 17, of course, did well. Other Mildura rider Ian Buffin, number 73, another rider to look for. Into the countdown now in this 8-lap C-grade final. Green lights. Look at emerging. There they go. John Hendricks has let them all go, and it's number 22 out in front, I think, going into the first turn. Guy Martin it is in front. Behind him in 17 is Robin Bobos from Mildura. Bobos must fancy his chances in this race, I think. Rob Lambert there in 3rd spot. Guy Martin it is, Bobos, Lambert, back to Tony Stewart. 73 there, Ian Buffin. Number 24, Brad Purcell. Off the top of the Coca-Cola jump is Guy Martin. Robin Bobos there in 2nd place. 3rd spot there, Robert Lambert. Back in 4th, Tony Stewart. There's Stewart off the awesome doubles. Oh, landing heavily there was number 24. That was Brad Purcell. Landed heavily again as over the top goes Mann, David Mann, number 44. As too did Grant Heapy, take them 2 at a time. There's this triple slammer for the first 3 riders, the first 4, 5. There's Buffin's the first not to... Oh, there's big trouble there from David Mann, number 44, as he comes down underneath his motorcycle. David Mann down underneath. The yellow flag is on the... Looks like we've got a knee injury there to David Mann, the rider who came down, but back to the Coca-Cola jump is Guy Martin. Coming through into 2nd place is Robert Lambert there. David Buffin in 3rd. Tony Stewart back in 4th spot. Brad Purcell it is in 5th. Behind him, Ian Buffin. Back to Mark Ritson, early heat winner. Another rider down there is coming away very clearly in front now. Is number 36, Rob Lambert. The rider is up, he's got an injured elbow. Everything's right now. So we go back to race leader, number 36, Rob Lambert. Behind him, Brad Purcell, Tony Stewart there too. Ian Buffin up into 4th place. Number 28 is Mark Ritson. Here comes the other Mildura rider, Rob Bobos. Number 33 there, just going over the canyon, was Paul Bellman. Back to 55 is Grant Heapy. Off the awesome doubles. Coming down now off the tabletop, race leader Rob Lambert. Behind him, number 24 there is Brad Purcell. Behind Purcell, Tony Stewart. They're first, second and third. Oh, Purcell's in trouble, so's Stewart. Purcell and Stewart's bikes have collided. Purcell thinks he's okay, so is Stewart, but as they tangle there, they allow rider number 28, which is Mark Ritson, to go through. Bobos from Mildura is in trouble down at the far west corner. Here comes Mildura's Ian Buffin over the canyon jump now. He's being followed there closely by Tony Whitehead. Let's go back and find race leader. Just coming over the awesome doubles there now is Robert Lambert. Daylight is second behind Lambert, and I think the next one through would be number 28, and that would be Mark Ritson. 28 seconds.
Yeah.
Race leader now just coming over the stutter jumps and approaching the triple slammer is in second place there, Mark Ritson. Ritson was an early heat leader. There's a lot of casualties in this. There's Bobos going over the triple slammers. There's Ian Buffin doing 2+1. Lambert it is, right out in front. Behind him there is number 55, Grant Heapy, but I believe he's a long way back. Let's find our race leader again. Coming off the tabletop jump is our race leader, Rob Lambert. Back in the second spot is number 28, Mark Ritson. Brian. There's our race leader, Robert Lambert. Number 36, Rob Lambert. Here in second place comes number 28 now, Mark Ritson. Back in third place, I believe, to be number 73, Ian Buffin, and he would be closely followed behind by number 76, Tony Whitehead. Bobos has had a lap out as he just goes over the canyon, and so too has Grant Heapy. Lambert certainly clearing out, and this the C-grade final of the Mallee Masters. Approaching the tabletop now as second place getter Mark Ritson just goes over the awesome doubles. Ritson's taking those in two, but he can't gain ground on Rob Lambert, who's having a picnic out in front now. Lambert taking the triple slammer. Comes around to the stutters to greet Brian Adams with the blue flag indicating 1 lap to go. Here's our race leader, Robert Lambert. Robert Lambert from the mid-New South Wales town of Goulburn. There's our second place getter there. Number 28 is Mark Ritson. Mildura rider Ian Buffin coming around number 73. He's in third spot, being followed very closely now too by Tony Whitehead, who did well in an earlier heat. Bobos, the other Mildura rider, he's already been lapped by the first four. Number 5 doing quite well also there is Dave Stewart. Stewart's being followed by Guy Martin, the early leader. Martin had an injury. Let's go back and follow around now as he comes up to the triple slammer for the last time in this race. Taking it safely, 2+1, race leader Rob Lambert. He's going to come around for a very comfortable win in this C-grade Supercross final over 8 laps. There's your winner, ladies and gentlemen, number 36, Robert Lambert from Goulburn. Good racing here between Ian Buffon in third, but here's our second place getter, Mark Ritson. He takes second. Buffon has just lost third place to the rider, Tony Whitehead, and it'll be Whitehead who comes around to pick up third place. Behind him and doing very well was local rider Ian Buffon. The next to finish but won't be fifth is Robin Bobos from Mildura, and also early race leader Guy Martin. I think fifth place should go to number 5 there, and that would be Dave Stewart. He would be followed by Simon Young, who was spectacular earlier on in the night, but couldn't get it together for this race. Number 71 just finishing there is Colin Lamb. Well, what a C-grade final. All that drama early, and then Lambert cleared out on the field. I'm sure the time was fairly slow because Lambert wasn't pressed for the last 6 laps. Well, this is the one that we're waiting for, ladies and gentlemen. The final of the Mallee Masters. Do we want to...
Well, this one, what would it do?
Yeah, keep on swapping, so we better stand together, I suppose, hadn't we, and just keep on looking over at Gav to see if we're...
Well, is the thing long enough to pass it?
Yeah, it probably is.
Congratulating the place getters in the C-grade.
Yeah, that's the best idea, Clint. I'll hook that up in there. I'll hook that in there and just pass it.
Put your hands together at number 76 in third place, Tony Whitehead.
G'day, Ron. How are you? You remember seeing me at the footy? I saw you at the footy one day, didn't I? Hey? And even your gran didn't know who I was. Nana, is it? Oh, well, Nana didn't know who you was.
Congratulating the young rider who's done his best effort here at the Mallee Masters. In the second place, put your hands together for Mark Ritson.
Oh,
Mark, must have been pretty tough, and you're just not quite happy? Oh, no, it doesn't matter. I'm happy with second. I'm happy with making the final tonight. This was a great amongst your performances. This is the best performance. Well, that means you're going to be going home with a big thrill. Have you got anybody you'd like to thank? Yeah, I'd like to thank Guy Martin and Dave for bringing me up here in their motorhome and paying for the weekend for me. And I'm low on cash at the moment. Thank you, the other players every weekend when you get your bike ready. Check out that a big hand for another best effort ever. Mark Ritson in second place. And would you put your hands together now in a big way for the winner of the C-grade Mallee Masters, number 36, Robert Lambert.
There you go, over Wally, mate. How's
Can I
that?
ask you, what is this rate amongst your efforts? This is one of the best efforts I've done for a long time. Have you had any wins anywhere else? Yeah, a couple of C-grade wins, but this tops it off. How do you like our little track here at Mildura? I love it. It's excellent. The competitors around you, the fields are strong this year? Yeah, they're very strong. Hopefully be going up to B-grade soon. Well, the way you rode tonight, I don't think it'll be very long. Have you got anybody you'd like to thank, Robert? Yeah, I'd just like to thank my father for bringing me up here, and the Golden Power Centre for the opportunity gave me. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, I'm sorry, before we go, put your hands together for the winner tonight, Robbie Lambert. We'll just cross that to Tony. I'm sorry, Tony, that's my fault. I usually ask people whether they've got anybody they'd like to thank, and all you guys, you've got that sponsors these days, don't you, to keep riding? Yeah, I'd just like to thank Nova Honda and Box Hill and Vince and Chris for helping me out and getting me going on the right track. And a few parts and bits and pieces, it's really good help. Okay, Tony Whitehead, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the three of us as they come off the Canyon Trail. So do a lap down around here, so fast, no doubt, plenty of those hands out there to hit. But put your hands together for the winners of the place getters, say in the C-grade final. Tony Whitehead third, second place race, number 28, Mark.
According to that off the time, it's got to be 20 past 10 by the time we start. So that'll be 5, 10, 15. The remaining 16 or so riders who are so very, very good to have got exactly where they are. We're underway in the 1987 Mallee Masters, and it's Dinsdale out in front, I think. Armstrong it is, I'm sorry, in front. Behind him, McSwain. There's Burt going right up to McSwain's elbow now. But it's Armstrong that's in front. David Armstrong on the Kawasaki. McSwain on the inside now. We've got a race on. That's the green flag on. Armstrong it is. McSwain back to Burt. Number 31 there is Sandy Spencer, I think. Glenn Bell's a long way back. He's halfway in the middle of the field. We go back to Armstrong though. McSwain. Burt still trying to get around McSwain and can't. Spencer it is there. Along with number 4 is Dale Britton. Number 28 or 9 would be Stephen Andrew. Yes, that's Andrew in the blue leathers. But coming up to the tabletop now for the first time, number 3, David Armstrong. Behind him, David McSwain, the local rider. Dean Burt pressurising them. Let's look at the triple slammers. There they go, 1, 2, 3. They've settled out 3 Kawasaki's all in front. There's Sandy Spencer. He's being followed by number 29, Stephen Andrew. There goes McSwain's in front. Piss off. Off you go. Off you go. McSwain's in the lead now. He's got Burt chasing him. Back to Spencer, back to Andrew. Number 4 there is Dale Britton. Number 19 as well back there is Stephen Hunter. But what a wonderful race from David McSwain so far. He's still got 18 to go. Glenn Bell's back in the middle of the field and can't get around number 13. Off the tabletop now comes McSwain. There's Dean Burt behind him, followed by Sandy Spencer. McSwain won't want to make one false move because Burt has showed what an excellent rider he is. There's Burt looking to go around the outside of McSwain. Oh, he's gone inside now, coming down on the inside line, but McSwain's good enough. McSwain's equal to the task in front. There's Spencer in third, back to Scott Andrew. Dale Britton it is, Lyndon Heffernan. Glenn Bell moved up substantially there now too. So too is David Mayhew. And he follows, behind him there follows Stephen Hunter. Let's go back to the leaders. It's still David McSwain underneath the Coca-Cola bridge. He's got Dale Burt on his hammer. There's the awesome twosome. There's McSwain still. Burt looking to go around the outside. But McSwain still thinking very well indeed. There's McSwain. Oh, Burt's got the inside running now, and that'll do the job. There's 3 and a go for David McSwain. He's back in front now. Oh no, he's been tipped off by Dean Burt. There's the 10 metres that Burke might need. Dean Burt in front now from David McSwain. Back to Sandy Spencer. Stephen Andrew there. Dale Britton, Lyndon Heffernan and Glenn Bell. There are a top lot of names there, ladies and gentlemen, but it's Dean Burt now, opening up a break over David McSwain. Dean Burt in front, David McSwain, Sandy Spencer, Stephen Andrew, Dale Britton, Lyndon Heffernan being passed on the inside by Glenn Bell. Not quite good enough though was Bell as they go underneath the Coca-Cola bridge. Coming back to the tabletop now is Dean Burt, and we'll give you back to Clinton Williams as Burt goes over the triple slammer.
Yes, Dean Burt opened up a considerable amount of lead over David McSwain in that lap. Dean Burt first, David McSwain second, Stephen Andrew in third, Sandy Spencer in fourth, Dale Britton fifth, Lyndon Heffernan sixth, and Lyndon Heffernan through to fifth now, and Glenn Bell is sixth. So Bell moving up through the field, doing pretty well, but he's still got a fair way to go to catch up to Dean Burt out in front, David McSwain in second, and Stephen Andrew in third place. That's Dean Burt, heads over the wide doubles. and then the second set of doubles around the right-hand corner, lines up around the left-hand corner to the tabletop jump. Dean Burt round to the triples, a triple slammer there. Same from Mick Swain. Mick Swain hasn't lost any more ground on Burt there. It must have just been that initial shock after Dean Burt went through, nearly tipped Mick Swain off. Mick Swain had to regain his composure. So Dean Burt up the Marlborough straight. There's Heffernan and Glenn Bell. Heffernan around Sandy Spencer. Spencer stalls on top of the jump. Got it going again. But that's Glenn Bell now up into, well, we've got Dean Burt in first place. Mick Swain in second. Stephen Andrew in third. Lyndon Heffernan fourth. And Glenn Bell in fifth. Sandy Spencer in sixth. And Dale Britton in seventh place. Dean Burt over the tabletop. Burt comes up to the triples. Over them. Mick Swain being pressured now by Stephen Andrew. There's a slower rider in the way. Number 17, Mark Weaver. Will Mick Swain and Andrew be able to get through? Andrew off his bike. Back on it again, over the stutters. That's just what Mick Swain needed. A bit more breathing room. Stephen Andrew into third place. Lyndon Heffernan and Glenn Bell. They're moving through the field quickly into fourth and fifth place. As Dean Burt comes up to the kangaroo jump. Over that very cleanly underneath the Coca-Cola bridge. Over the awesome doubles up to the next set of doubles. It's still Dean Burt, David Mick Swain, Stephen Andrew. There's Lyndon Heffernan with Glenn Bell right on his wheel. In fourth and fifth place. Bell goes inside Heffernan. There's Bell down. Glenn Bell's down. There, another rider past him. Bell's losing ground there. Sandy Spencer and Dale Britton are past Bell. So is David Armstrong, David Mayhew, Trevor Thomas. There's Bell now. He's up and away again, but he's lost a lot of ground on the leader, Dean Burt. We've got two riders down. I can't.
Swain and Andrew.
David Mick Swain and Stephen Andrew. Lyndon Heffernan, the second and third riders, are down. Mick Swain can't even get back to his bike to pick it up. David Mick Swain, the local rider who was doing so well in second place, his bike's pretty bent and twisted there, lying across the track. Mick Swain's up and he's got it again. But I'll try and pick up our leader now. There's Dean Burt coming up to the triples. Leaps over them. Stephen Andrew now it is in second place, and I think it'll probably leave Sandy Spencer, number 31, in third place. Dale Britton in fourth. David Armstrong fifth. David Mayhew sixth. Trevor Thomas seventh. And Glenn Bell in eighth place. Oh, there he is. So Dean Burt now coming around to the tabletops. Once more. Dean Burt comes around, lines up the triple slammers. Dean Burt coming around to the stutter jumps as he turns onto the straight, and I'll pass you back to Brendan Gledhill to take us through a few more laps.
There's Dean Burt just going over the canyon now, and the very unlucky David McSwain. It looks like McSwain might pull out, I believe. Stephen Andrew there in second place. We'll just try and call them for you as they're coming around. Here comes Glenn Bell and also Trevor Thomas. There's David Armstrong as well, and number 4 would be Dale Britton. There's Glenn Bell over the canyon there now. Number 21 also the rider let's go back and try and find the leader. Here he comes over the triple slammers, Dean Burt. Chasing him very hard now is Stephen Andrew, the other young rider. They were two juniors a couple of years ago, ladies and gentlemen. There's the race leader, Dean Burt. He's cleared out on the field now. Stephen Andrew chasing him. Back to David McSwain, but he's been lapped already. So too, I believe, has number 19, Stephen Hunter. We'll be looking for number 3, I think, would be David Armstrong, but he's in third place now, followed closely by Trevor Thomas. I think they're still in order. There's Armstrong, there's Thomas, and I think behind them would be Dale Britton. Following them would be David Mayhew and Glenn Bell. Glenn Bell certainly not doing as well as he would have hoped in the middle stages of this 20-lap final of the Mildura Mallee Masters for 1987. Where's our leader? There he is, back on the triple slammers, coming around to the stutters, ready to greet the judge. Number 17 was the first of the lapped riders, and that was Mark Weaver. So the race order is now number 12 in first place, Dean Burt. Number 29 just going over the canyon there now is second is Stephen Andrew. Looking back now to number 3 would be David Armstrong. He was in third place. These other riders have been lapped, so there's Armstrong. He's being very closely followed by Tony Thomas on the blue-wheeled Honda there. Then we find Dale Britton, followed by David Mayhew and Glenn Bell. Glenn Bell having strife getting past Mayhew. Successful there now as he goes up to the back-end turn. Going to turn on the inside of Mayhew, but Mayhew's all just as good as Glenn Bell is. And Bell came out of the Coca-Cola bridge very slowly indeed. Let's go back and try and find the race leader. Race leader should be somewhere approaching the start-finish line again. Here he comes, down to Brian Adams again, over the canyons, race leader Dean Burt. There's Stephen Andrew coming along behind him in second place. There's a gap of 2, number 17 and 55 have been lapped, but over the triple slammer there now is third and fourth place getters. That's David Armstrong, number 3, and Tony Thomas, number 11. They're being followed by David Mayhew. There's Dale Britton with Glenn Bell trying to go underneath him. Bell gets through on that inside turn down the bottom of the track. He's now out after Mayhew. Or is that Heffernan? I apologise, I believe that's Heffernan. Yes, sorry. Glenn Bell now has Heffernan in his sights. Number 14 in trouble on the start line is Kelly, and behind him is Stephen Dinsdale. Here comes our race leader again, Dean Burt. Still behind is Stephen Andrew. Let's look for Dinsdale. There's Dinsdale on the triple slammers, so too is Thomas. David Armstrong it is that's down there now at the end of the triple slammer, so that allows Thomas through into third place. He's got Heffernan on his wheel. Heffernan has Bell. Here comes Dale Britton, and the rider number 9 is David Mayhew. Dinsdale's Armstrong's in more trouble there over on the stutter jumps as he brings down rider number 21. Who's 21? Not there. Let's find our race leader again. Looking for the race leader. Where's he got to? Here he comes on the stutters. The race leader, Dean Burt. This is 3/4 of the way through. Dean Burt. We might cross back to Clint Williams now at lap 15.
Thank you, Brendan. Pretty hard on your voice. As Dean Burt still leads this Mallee Masters final. David Armstrong got out of control there coming up towards the triples. But there's Dean Burt over the second set of doubles, around to the tabletop. So, there he is, Dean Burt over the triples. Dean Burt comes around. So Dean Burt coming around now. In second place, it's Trevor Thomas. In third place, it'll be Glenn Bell now. So Bell moved up into third place from way back in the field. So a top ride there by Glenn Bell. Fourth place is Dale Britton. Fifth place is David Mayhew. And that's about as far back as we can go just at the present time. But out in front, we know it's Dean Burt, number 12, as he goes over the second set of doubles once again and comes around to the tabletop jump. Dean Burt doing it very, very easily now in front. Here he is, Burt coming around to the triples, another triple slammer. He hasn't slackened off very much in this whole race so far, and he's completed 17 laps this time as he goes across. So Dean Burt, 3 more laps to go. He leads. He's got a fair lead now on Trevor Thomas. 29's in front. So we've just been told by the official lap scorers it's 29 Stephen Andrew in front from Dean Burt. I don't recall seeing him pass, but Dean Burt now has got to catch up to Stephen Andrew if that's the case. Trevor Thomas in third place, a long way back. Glenn Bell in fourth place. Dale Britton fifth. David Mayhew in sixth place. So they come round now with 2 laps to go. It's Stephen Andrew, Dean Burt, a long way back to Trevor Thomas. He's then got a fair break over Glenn Bell, then Dale Britton, David Mayhew. We'll go back to our leader. Coming across the Coca-Cola jump, Stephen Andrew, number 29. Second place, Dean Burt, number 12. So Andrew doing a really good job out in front. Somehow our lap scorer missed Stephen Andrew on 1 lap when he passed Dean Burt. We didn't catch it. So Stephen Andrew now coming up behind some slower riders. This will give Dean Burt a chance to close up. But Andrew's through 1. He's up onto the back of Stephen Dinsdale. Andrew it is, gets the blue last lap flag. Stephen Andrew heads off on his last lap. Up Marlborough Straight for the last time. Dean Burt in second place. Waiting on Trevor Thomas. He's coming through the stutter jumps. He's in third place. Glenn Bell in fourth place. Dale Britton, fifth place. David Mayhew in sixth place. And I'm afraid that's as far back as we can go, but we'll go back to our leader. He's got half a lap to go. Stephen Andrew over the canyon jump, lines up now for the triples for the last time. He's another triple slammer. Stephen Andrew right on the tail of Stephen Dinsdale, the Queenslander, but Stephen Andrew, he's got Dean Burt not very far behind him, but there we go. Stephen Andrew, number 29, picks up first place in the Mallee Masters. In second place, it's Dean Burt. Stephen Andrew first, Dean Burt second. Still waiting now for Trevor Thomas, number 11, to finish along the stutter bumps. Trevor Thomas in third place. Glenn Bell, it should be, in fourth place. Bell coming across the stutters now, closely followed by Dale Britton, but it'll be Glenn Bell who'll get across the line in fourth place. A magnificent ride from Bell to come through the field. Dale Britton fifth, David Mayhew in sixth. And that's about as far back as we can go at this stage in placings. But a really good ride from Stephen Andrew out in front. Past Dean Burt somewhere in the middle of the race. We didn't pick it up here. Stephen Andrew winning the Mallee Masters final over 20 laps. Dean Burt in second. And Trevor Thomas in third place. Well, Brendan, another top race, top finish there. The 2 young guys managed to make a break on Glenn Bell. He had a bit of trouble in midfield, didn't get a good start, and then fell off and he just couldn't make up that extra ground.
No, that was right, Clint. I think I called during the race that Bert and Andrew were the two newcomers to A and B grade. They've been past competitors here in junior competition, and what wonderful stars they're going to be when they reach their full potential. Ladies and gentlemen, here they come. Just around on the stutters there now is Dean Burt. Behind him, race winner Stephen Andrew. Only a couple of kids. Ladies and gentlemen, give them your support. Third place getter, I believe, would be Trevor Thomas. Here comes Trevor on the blue-rimmed Honda, and he'll take his place up on the victory dais with a couple of very excited kids, I'm sure, in Stephen Andrew, Dean Burt, and Trevor Thomas. Over to Brian Adams and Club President Lyndon Preston to present the winners and second and third with their sashes, and of course to remind them that they've now got some points to go towards that Hamilton Super Series $1,000 winner-take-all purse for the two legs of the racing.
Thank you very much, Brendan. At the introduction to the superstars here tonight, I asked them whether they were worried about the kids. Well, what do you know about that, mate? Now, first of all, let's get into congratulating the third place girl. Put your hands together for a terrific effort for number 11, Trevor Thomas. Congratulations, Jeff. Pleased about the ball? Especially from the start. I was just about last at the start. Oh, gosh, what's going to happen here? But anyway, it turned out good. It's going, and had a few lucky breaks, I suppose. Anyway, first of all, I want to thank a few sponsors. First of all, K&J Thomas, Willie Motorcycles.
That's Monday night.
Great help to me. Also, JC's Clothing, Donald Tires, Show Oils, DOD Chains, and Elwood Star Boots Stores. Thank you very much. Also, I'd like to congratulate Stephen and Dan on doing it right.
20th isn't very
Well spoken, Trevor. And congratulations once again.
Oh, it's all right, I'll write it now.
Trevor Thomas.
I want to try and get them before there's too many people bloody going.
In second place tonight, would you
Yeah.
please congratulate one of the little youngsters? I asked him before whether who was the oldest and the youngest of these two blokes. Would you put your hands together for Dean Burt?
Oh, yeah.
I think you said you're a little bit older than Stephen. Dean, the age must be getting to you.
Yeah, 2 weeks. Just got me. I'd just like to thank the Mildura Club for putting on the meeting. The track was really good. My sponsors, Cosway Motorcycles, Boral, Nipponetto, Castrol, all the rest, and Derek McGuire to help me out, and my grandparents and my dad. Thanks a lot.
Well spoken, Dean, and congratulations, ladies and gentlemen. Second in this year's Mallee Masters with valuable points, along with Trevor Thomas also in the $1,000 Hamilton bonus, Dean Burt. But the winner tonight, and boy, can this young fellow ride. How about a big Mildura congratulations to Stephen Andrew. Congratulations, Stephen. Terrific ride. Didn't have it all your own way there for a while, did you?
No, I was going for it, I only guess, I suppose. I feel a little lap rised on the way, but I suppose that's the way it goes.
Well, I guess there were times when you yourself were lapped, I suppose, in an event like this. What was the highlight of the race itself for you? When did you think that you might have just about had it sewn up?
I tried to push and push, but I won't gain any seconds, and once Dean come off, that's it, on the go.
On the gas. Well, Stephen, congratulations from everybody here tonight, and once again, it's a credit to you young fellows, the racing that you've put on, and boy, do some of these older stars have some real worries now. Ladies and gentlemen, join with me in congratulating the Mallee Master for 1987, Stephen Andrew. Well, I'll be down the race in a minute. Now, if you'd like to know who won the cash bonus for the longest jump over the over the Coke Bridge. I've forgotten, yes, it was Stephen Maguire was holding it, but in that particular 20-lap final, it was shot to bits by number 8, Lyndon Heffernan.